Roll the intro music.
Okay. Damn, I look buff, dude. Welcome.
Comment below if we're getting big.
Comment below.
Welcome
Or
to episode 12. The date?
Today is... I don't even know what today is.
It's the 7th.
Today is July 7th, 2020.
Time is...
13:09. Thank God for my phone here.
And welcome to... Too
brown and down. Do I have to say it like that all the time? I did it like that last time.
It's Too Down and Brown.
No, stupid. It's too brown and down.
Is it?
Yes. And when you corrected me the last episode, I said it right, and you were like, "No, it's."
I knew you said
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck?" I listened to it again. Dude, you're so loud.
Alright.
Anyways, so fuck out of
Too Brown and Down.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and do like a two down and at the same time.
You just did it wrong again.
Down.
It's
Too down and brown. No, it's definitely too down and brown then.
No, it's too brown and down. That's what you said.
So then it's too brown and then at the same time we say down.
Okay.
We'll do it on the next episode.
All right, sounds good.
Here we are, July 7th, 5 weeks out from returning to home port.
Fucking thank the Lord.
Ish weeks. Yeah.
I am.
Tensions are high here on the USS Truxton as people are fiending to go home, return to their families, and return to normal food.
I'm so scared. I'm really scared that they're gonna be like, "Fuck! Like we actually have this thing for you guys to do again." Or
And
like
just
to
fucking,
do.
they did that to the Bainbridge.
Yo,
It's all too real.
I'm terrified for that to happen. It's so close, so I just feel like it's gonna be. I don't know.
It'll be alright.
I hope so.
So this week for you, we have a couple things. We have ship current events, and then we have world current events.
What's the ship current events?
Ship current events, like I said, tensions are high. I don't know if I told you about this.
What?
There was almost a fight on the mess decks the other day.
Oh yeah, I actually heard about it from FC1 Denson.
Oh really?
Yeah, Wilson.
I told her about it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, wasn't I there? Wasn't I there?
No, it
I
was
was
after
there.
we turned over.
Yeah, but me and you were there.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Wait a minute.
All right. So
go
either
ahead.
way,
Go ahead. Spill the tea.
I was. That'd be funny if
What?
it was like the drama on the ship. Be like, "Welcome to tea time."
The tea time.
So there was a little, voices were getting loud, and we were like, "Oh, what's going on over there? Nothing much. Maybe a cup fell or something like that."
Usually it happens all the time though.
Yeah.
Everybody's usually loud.
Everybody's loud on the mess decks. Matter of fact, we went to remember going to the Vela Golf and eating there.
I didn't go.
No. So on the Vela Golf, when you went to their mess decks and eat, everybody was like, "Yeah, so I was thinking that," like super quiet and basically whispering. And it was just really weird to go to a mess deck that was so quiet, because when like something happens on the mess decks here,
Everybody's
it
just
like
loud.
erupts and
Yeah.
everybody's loud. Like Kramer fucking fell yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he like dropped ice, and he like came to give more bowls and to mop up the ice, and he's like, "Whoop!"
Oh no.
And like feet went up, and he was just like,
Yo, that happened to Poovy one time.
and everybody's like, "Are you alright?" And he's like clearly embarrassed, like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Give me the mop,
That happened to Poovy, but he like it wasn't like his legs went up. He just went boom, like right on the ground, like hard, and everyone was just like, he's fine.
He's right. So it was right at the end of dinner, and me, Paul, and Sheehan are kind of walking out.
Walking down.
That one's acceptable. I like that one. And I just hear like, nah, and I like turn around, and I see 5 buffalo chicken wings fly across the room,
Oh no.
and I was like, oh shit,
like bones or
like full
wings.
intact, no meat eaten off them or anything.
Oh, no.
Maybe they fly like 20 feet, and I was like,
Were they alive or something?
no. And I'm like, why would they be
God,
buffalo chicken wings if they're alive? And I'm like looking over somebody's shoulder like, what do we got?
Dude, don't do that. Why do you do that more?
I had to test it out to make sure that's what it was.
Now they're gonna hear it and everybody's gonna... You're gonna be
Dude,
fucking mad.
Just edit it out. And so I'm like looking over somebody's shoulder, like, what's going on over there? And I just see somebody with some Texas Pete buffalo or fucking hot sauce in their hand, 2 in one hand, like 1 in each hand, I guess. 2 in one hand, 1 in each hand, and they're like swinging it back like they're about to just fucking poom poom, knock somebody over the head with them. And the person who was having the buffalo sauce bottles is a fucking huge guy.
Yeah.
His name's Wilson. Not huge like fat, like huge like buff.
Yeah. And tall. And
tall.
Big. Like, he's just a big dude.
A big dude. And so it takes like 3 people to like not even calm him down, but pretty much just like push and pull him off the mess decks. And then the person who he was gonna go hit was like, man, what the fuck is that guy's problem? And I'm like trying to figure out like what happened, how everything happened. It looks like there's some pent up anger going in between the two of them. Maybe somebody said something they shouldn't have earlier, and it, festered in the other person, and one quick quip.
Yeah, from like Apex Legends.
What?
They have their own quips.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, stupid. Dude, stop punching me. This is not a thing. Ow.
And so, I never really ended up finding out what happened, but the next day, those 2 people were talking to each other again, and just everything was fine. So,
who's the other person?
Wells?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were just I thought they usually just fuck around all the time.
No, it was real.
It was an actual. Oh,
it was real, yeah. Maybe they did have a master plan, but
it didn't seem like it.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it. If it is, give those guys an Oscar, because that shit looks real. I'm sure. Tell me what you know about the Vanessa. I hope I'm saying her name right. Nobody's actually said it to me.
Oh,
Guillen.
Oh yeah.
Fort Hood thing. What do you know?
So from what I've read, I only read one article. It was basically she was getting like harassed, or like they were. I don't know. It was like some dude was trying to get at her or something like that, and it wasn't like both sides were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out or stuff like that, and it was like it had to do with something in her armory. She like got attacked there.
Okay, so as far as what I have read,
like I said, I only read one article.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta take care of that later. As far as I've read, she was like getting harassed and had been previously sexually assaulted like by people in her unit.
Okay.
And she was kind of I guess worried for her own safety, and at the same time like wanted to speak up, but was afraid of speaking up also.
Yeah.
Because again, she was worried for her own safety. And then boom, she went missing. Again, just so everybody knows, web pages take a long time to load out here, so I'm not too well read on it.
Yeah.
I just know kind of what I see either in headlines or maybe somebody's Facebook post.
Yeah.
Is kind of where we get our news sources from. So if I am wrong about something, feel free to correct me.
On like a comment down below. Or something like that.
In a comment down below after you like the video.
After you like the video.
A little risky joke there, but just know that we are in, we're in the military too, so we don't condone those actions, nor do we take part in actions like that. But bringing light to the situation, even months after when we release this, I feel like is keeping somebody's in our thoughts and prayers, and sort of
definitely
not letting a big problem, an issue like this that they had at Fort Hood, kind of recede back into the unknown, where it's kind of just like, you remember that one girl, But either way, so they ended up finding her. Actually, they believe they found her remains in the armory, in like fucking like one of those boxes that we have, like a fucking carrying box for a gun.
For a gun?
For a gun. It was like a big box. Like, I'm trying to kind of like
an ammo can?
No, like maybe a bigger box than maybe what your switch tubes would go in.
Okay.
Like a box like like that, but a bigger one.
Okay.
So they found her remains, and apparently cement was poured over them.
In the armory?
Yeah, in the armory. And so they again searched everything, and actually saw this post the other day that was like, if that girl was a rifle, like nobody would have went home till they found her.
That is true.
And then obviously she went missing for months, and then they finally
wow, that was months?
Months, yeah.
It was like April or something like that, right?
I think she was even missing before April. That's just kind of when the
search started or something?
When when the situation became aware to more than just like the Fort Hood community / base like people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it became like a nationwide thing where everybody was kind of putting their words out there about it.
From what I read, I thought there was a civilian. So it was a military dude. Was an army guy, right?
Yeah.
And a civilian helped him with the remains, and it was like they said they bludgeoned her.
Yeah.
And burned her body or burned her remains or something like that. That's what I read. I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, they
cemented.
They found the remains in a box in the armory. I'm guessing there was cement in there to mimic weight. So
that's
whatever they thought was heavy.
Crazy.
So actually, when they went to go search in there, they didn't just find her remains. They found like other people's remains, like in these boxes that they were searching through. And then like, that kind of prompted a search fucking everywhere. So then they like started searching like in the local area, and were finding bodies that had been missing for a couple months also.
What?
Like, of different people. Yeah.
But I remember that they were saying that one of the bodies that they found, they were saying that they didn't know if it was tied in with their with the same.
Yeah, they didn't know, but it was regardless. It's a body that they found that was missing from a person that worked at Fort Hood.
That's crazy.
And they also like uncovered a like prostitution ring.
What?
Yeah, on the base, ran by like military members, like
oh my god,
prostituting other military members. Yeah, fucking
Jesus,
crazy. That kind of sucks too, because I have friends. I mean, it sucks either way, but I have friends who are in the army who are
at Fort Hood,
pretty good looking. I don't know about Fort Hood, but they're in Texas. But they're just like good looking girls. I'm like, man, like I couldn't imagine something like that happening to them. I can't imagine how this family must feel.
But honestly, I think though, this happens all the time. Honestly, it's sad to say, but I feel like, because even here, not to that extent, obviously, but being like harassed and things like that, I feel like it's become a normal thing to people, or like at least to females, to where like they just kind of brush it off and they don't take it seriously anymore, until obviously a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I've definitely heard stories where it's just like people are saying comments and they just kind of ignore the fact that this was what they're saying,
Yeah.
They just brush it off like, oh, it's just that person being them, But then obviously when it comes like from another person's perspective, like when they get told the story, it's just like, you're not doing anything about it. Like,
why is that just okay?
Yeah, like you're not gonna say anything.
I feel like, and this might not be okay to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyways. The issue lies a lot too in the people who are older than say you and I, or maybe who've been in a little bit longer, who are in the quote unquote old Navy. They kind of have more of a what's the word? They're more prone to maybe say stuff or do stuff that probably isn't appropriate at the time.
Yeah.
Or ever actually. And whereas like obviously like we go through countless trainings on all this stuff. Not that the training is what we needed. Like we probably know this stuff regardless, but not to make an excuse. Like they just grew up in a different time. But as fucking old Bob Dylan once said, the times are changing. So
yeah,
I feel like I see that a lot more often with like
the older
the older
Navy guys or
Navy
military guys.
Yeah,
I get what you mean. But I heard of a story just recently. I don't know what I was doing, like just yesterday, and but I mean the person. I feel like we do go through a lot of training, and a lot of people always tell people like, oh, like if you really do need help, like there is all these resources you can tell other people. And I feel like sometimes people don't go through those steps. They help other people, but they try to take it upon themselves. And I mean, obviously people are strong for themselves too, but I think they know when they need to turn to somebody.
Yeah.
Because then after that, like if you keep going, because if it does always happen and they keep going to people, like
and nothing gets fixed.
Yeah, it feels like that resource is just kind of useless. You know?
It's there, but it's there just to say that it's there.
But I don't think it's like that here. I
also don't think it's like that either. There might be a couple, like underlying things that we just maybe don't see. We're pretty recluse when it comes to being out in the public eye.
That is true.
We don't hang out too much with like just everybody, because we
Yeah,
have
I
very
know.
nice spaces,
Yeah.
like workshops that we can just hang out in, so we don't have to like go out to the events that they have on the mess decks or like go hang out for too long somewhere else, especially if it's hot outside. We'll like go get our food, hang out for a little bit, and then go back inside. And
Yeah, for like
watch
Steel
a
Beach
movie.
picnics.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I want to tell you about was the Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter
Yeah.
group went onto like a gated community, area to. I think it was, again, same thing. I don't have the best news sources right now, so I can't tell you exactly what happened. So if I am incorrect about anything, please let us know down below. And, we'll do our best to have better information, obviously, when we pull back into port.
Yeah.
There's only so much I can get right now, though.
Yeah.
But
Because we will be able to literally pull up that article or anything on our phone when we're recording back at home.
Yeah.
Well, right now we can't even, like, the computer is like 50, 100 feet away.
and it
right
might
now.
even not load this page at all.
Yeah, that's
So
That is true.
I take what I can get. But either way, they kind of stormed, and they're going to the mayor's house, I believe, to protest him and to get him to resign from office.
But this is a gated community, though.
Yeah, so they like hop fences.
So this is like a privately owned area that this is technically trespassing since they're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but they had one mission to get to the mayor's house. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like, on the way to the mayor's house, they had people. So if this, I'm gonna use your phone. If this is a gun, right?
Yeah.
They had this like a fucking two lawyers come out of their house, like basically they had no intention of going to these people's houses, but they came out and started like pointing their guns at them and like, you guys need to get out of here, with like finger on the trigger, fucking
Jesus.
Safety off. I'm sure they were like, the two lawyers were like flagging each other, so they were like pointing the gun at each other as they were talking, like very unsafe, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
So they were
But again, though, what state was this?
I don't remember, honestly.
So I mean, the only thing I'm not gonna say that was the right thing to do, but it is a gated community and for a reason. This is a private property. Isn't that the trespassing thing in my head is like, should they not be jumping a fence, going into private property, which is like everybody there? Like, don't they have that right? Like, this is our private area. That
I think if they were just going to every house, it would have been different in everybody's eyes.
Okay.
But they were just walking down the street, going to one
Towards
specific
one
house.
person.
Yes, should they have not been there because it is private property? But
because I feel like the
When-
first wrong step is already jumping a fence.
when in the history of like standing up for something that you believe in,
well, yeah.
did you have to follow every single rule that was put in
Well-
place? You know what I mean?
But the thing is, though, like when they want to do these,
I think it was something like the mayor did, like pardoned somebody who like killed somebody. I think that
Okay.
was kind of like the avenue that led them there. It wasn't just like, get him to resign because he's a white racist. It was,
Okay.
he did something, and so they
And this was their
took it to
reasoning.
the next level. Yeah.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying, and one of the big problems personally I had with like BLM when they first started was when they would like block off whole highways.
yeah,
I don't think they do that anymore, probably because people kept on getting hit with cars and shit. But that was like in my head, I was thinking, as an average American, like, what right do they have? They are standing up for something that is true, but like, people have lives to live, and people have
yeah,
things they have to go do for the world to keep on running the way that it is.
or at least
And-
their own personal lives. to
Yeah,
keep on.
and you're, this, say it's like a 89-year-old black man who knew the brother of Martin Luther King Jr. And now he's just like trying to get to the hospital, but now you blocked off this entire highway, so now he can't get
Yeah.
anywhere. You know what I mean? It's. I think that one was inconsiderate of other people, but I mean the point they were trying to drive was, stopping everybody else's life, I guess. So I can see where they're coming with it, but again, I personally don't think that was the right way. Plus, a lot of cars were just like, boom,
Yeah.
ran their fucking blockade, which sucked, but
I mean, if that's what they want to stand up for,
Stuff happens,
and
you
that's
know?
the way they do it.
yeah.
I like the thing with the them going into a gated community,
It's really rubbing you the wrong way.
Yeah, because it's like when you see protests, like for so let's say a company, like they own this building, they protest. They're not inside the building on all the floors protesting. They're outside of the building, still minding that it is their property. Like, unless it's obviously going to become like a riot or like something to the next level to where it's not a peaceful protest anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if like for protesting like that, like if they're going into the building, that's like totally different now. They are going into somebody else's property, and just the gated community thing. If jumping over a fence, I think that's already going to the point where it's like that's not peaceful anymore. It's like they shouldn't. If they're calling it a peaceful protest, and that's wrong.
Oh, I don't think they're trying to call it a peaceful protest.
Okay.
Again, I don't know for sure, but
Yeah.
I think the main focus that everybody was kind of harping on wasn't the fact that it was the flagrant disregard for safety by these like random attorneys who pulled their guns on them, right? Because it's not like they went to the mayor's house, went to go say something to the mayor, and then the mayor pulled his gun on them. Oh my god, the mayor pulled his gun on us, right? It was two random people that just saw them walking by and like fucking
But they lived in that gated community.
rolled up with the toolie.
They lived
That's
in that
like
gated
you-
community though, right?
Yeah, that's like you walking by in a neighborhood and somebody being like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And you're like,
Is it a gated neighborhood?
"What?" Just like imagine how you'd feel in a ghetto then. Somebody, you're in a ghetto, not a gated community,
Yeah.
but somebody pulls a gun up on you just for walking by.
No.
Would you fear for your life either way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be fearing for my life too if I was in that situation with
And
there's
then
two guys with
I
guns
think-
pointed at me. Yeah.
I think there's a comedic sense to it almost, in the sense that like they're like, "Stay away from our house," and they're like, "We weren't even going to your house."
Oh.
And they're like, "Don't come in here. We had no plan of going in there." And then like with the gun, they're like, "All right," like say I'm the wife and you're the husband.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And just like, "All right, well, this is our home." And then like you turn and point your gun at me, and you're like, "Yeah, this is our home." Finger on the trigger,
Oh,
like,
this, yeah.
"Stay out." What?
Was it a video or something?
Yeah, I think it was a video / like they had pictures, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Points of contention.
We are literally going back. We're coming back from deployment. A fucking however long deployment this is, almost 8 months, to this fucking craziness back at home now.
Yeah, son. All I want is fucking wings.
I know, right? I just want me some Chick-fil-A. Thank God we're not coming back on a Sunday.
Dude, I
Bars.
heard Chick-fil-A is a Trump supporting company. Do you
Dude,
believe in
Do you believe in magic?
in a young Trump's heart?
Oh, dude.
You're,
I don't really follow politics.
what about their contribution to anti-LGBT? Yeah.
I just like food, man.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
I'm just
like-
asking.
I just like their food. Their chicken sandwich is slapping. So that's a
Hey, you can't be a SJW everywhere. Social justice warrior.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's not words. That's not. Anyways, so Ramirez. Fuck me, dude.
Yes,
This is
Culata.
like 12 episodes, and I still keep calling you Ramirez. Hey, Ram.
Yes, Lata.
So we've been on deployment for a while now, and we've
You betcha.
had a lot of time to watch movies and stuff.
After you got your ESWAS and I got my CSAO, most definitely.
Tell me about some movies you enjoyed, not just on deployment, but even before.
As we've
Oh,
previously
fuck.
mentioned,
God.
I thoroughly enjoy movies, just like any other red-blooded human being. I'm not gonna say movies is my thing, because all you have to do is sit there and watch it.
Dude, that's a thing, bro.
But I do enjoy them.
You could be sitting and doing something else.
Typically, I go through like stints where I watch like like in a week maybe, or maybe in a 2-week period, I'll watch like 5 movies that I've never seen before, and then I'll go through a period where I just like rewatch movies that I've seen before, and then I'll like cycle back through.
So what right now? Because I've seen you watching movies before we come up to do the podcast. So this is like a week of what?
This has been like
just an example.
3 weeks of watching. I probably watched maybe 6 or 7 movies I've never seen.
Is it like these are all like suggested movies from others? Because I know you watched one of the movies that I put up there.
Yeah, either suggested or
you just heard of.
I just had heard of, or something I've been wanting to see, or something kind of caught my eye based on the title.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll see stuff on Facebook like 12 movies you gotta fucking see, no doubt, and I'll be like,
before you die.
You said no doubt. So I'll sit there and watch it.
I just realized we've been watching ourselves.
But I've been doing that since high school, really. Like last deployment, that was a big thing for me and Gonzo. We'd like both get off watch at the same time, so we both come up to Radar 3 and watch a movie, and then like watch an episode of Rick and Morty, and then go do whatever.
That's how Verhagen and I
it was like
were in the
schedule.
With what you said about having like weeks and stuff like that you watch like new movies or rewatch old movies.
Yeah.
Right now, Verhagen and I, or Jonathan Mama and I, are watching like series. So we're trying to watch the Resident Evil series right now.
Yeah.
And I think we watched the Toy Story series before.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that.
So it's like that's.
And you're working your way through. She's working her way through all the Marvel movies, right?
Yeah. Because she has more time than I do now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
A couple movies I've watched. I watched Room
with the little boy and the little and the
and
mom.
Has Brie Larson in it and a little boy, and basically
and a little boy.
He's the little boy from Good Boys. You seen that movie?
This you referencing movies is gonna be hard. I know we're talking about movies today.
I understand.
That's the only movies I know.
That's it right there.
Like the little.
He's a younger actor who's kind of been in a lot of movies in maybe the past 5 years. I don't quite remember his name, but I have seen him in a lot of stuff. So I'm like, whoa, this kid's like really fucking out here doing it.
Yeah.
As a child actor, because he's been in like comedies, dramas, fucking like small parts, big parts. Like he's kind of doing it all right now, and he's like proficient in everything that he does. Like in this movie, he was good. He's in this movie called like A Book of Hope, I think, where his like face is kind of disfigured.
Oh, the one with the astronaut helmet?
Yeah. Yeah. He's in that movie.
Wow, I actually watched that movie in the theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I teared up a little bit.
Was it good?
Yeah.
It looked like a tearjerker.
It was a real good movie.
It had, who's the mom? Do you remember?
No. I know, isn't Owen Wilson the dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe Jennifer Aniston?
Maybe.
Maybe Sandra Bullock.
Two totally different people, but maybe? I don't know. I have to look it up. Alexa.
Yes, Master.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
Don't say that.
Yes, Master Vader. I set my dad's phone to call him that, and he's like, "Why does he keep calling me Master Vader?" So yeah, I watched Room.
That gets it down right there.
Yeah.
Hard.
That one was pretty good. That one's very drama-y. I feel like I've watched all these movies and I can't even remember any of them now.
Okay, how about
Interstellar?
How about let me say a movie I've read or watched.
so actually, Culata, I had never watched Interstellar.
Dude, my name is Lata.
Sorry, Lata. Suggested me the other day to watch Interstellar, and I kind of wanted to watch it before we recorded this episode. Yeah. So I can come in with maybe the fresh perspective and the, haven't seen it in a while but have seen it before perspective.
Yeah.
I feel like the best way to watch a movie is maybe I'll watch a trailer once, and then if I like that trailer, I won't listen / watch / look up anything about that movie until after I've seen it. Yeah, definitely. So that's how Interstellar was for me. I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, that seems kind of cool. Matthew McConaughey's a cool guy. Yeah. Oh, check it out. Anne Hathaway, I did not know Matt Damon was going to be in it.
Yeah, exactly. That shit tripped me out when I first watched it.
And so I hadn't really listened or read anything about it. All I knew was that the only thing I knew about it going in was that he was coming back and she had aged, but he was the same age.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I knew. And so I was like,
Oh, spoilers alert! By the way. Spoilers alerts.
Yeah, it's been enough years. You should know. Spoilers alert.
So-
Skip to whenever after this. But the movie was like visually pleasing.
Yeah.
Like cinematography wise, it was well shot.
CGI was really good.
Yeah, the CGI was really good.
I like the Minecraft dude.
Yeah.
Tars? Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was funny. I was like very
running.
confused. I was like, what? Because he's so like blocky and moves so slow.
Exactly.
But then when they're on the water world, he's like,
Yeah, he's just like fucking going, bro.
and I was like, oh shit, that's fast as fuck, boy. And I actually liked the little girl actor. I thought she did a very good job playing a distressed little girl. And the ending where you realize I so had a feeling that it wasn't a ghost or a higher being, that it was him.
That was him
manipulating something.
You think it was him? You thought it was him already?
I had a feeling. I didn't think it was him, but I was like, there's no way it's a higher being, like somebody communicating through whatever. There has to be fucking some loop back that it all makes sense in the end. And so when, you know, obviously you find that part out where it's him like pulling the fucking tethers of time, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and you're literally watching her like experience all that shit.
Exactly. And
him telling him to not go.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And
telling her stay.
Yeah.
And he's like, she's like, I have it right here. And he's all like, it don't make sense. And you're like, you're sitting there like, you fool! It's you! You're telling yourself! How can you be so stupid?
You liked it though.
I did like it. It was very good. I was talking to Jarrell about it. Jarrell. And he was saying it was a Christopher Nolan movie. And I was like, oh, I know who Christopher Nolan is. I know what type of movies he makes. I'm like, that's why I'll probably like it even more. Or why I probably thought that I was already going to like it. Matthew McConaughey, alright. Yeah. Christopher Nolan, okay. And the visuals, like you said, were really good. The part when they fucking wake up Matt Damon, and I was like, Matt fucking Damon!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you should be on Mars!
You know, he...
What the fuck, man?
He wasn't even in the trailers, too.
Yeah, that's how they fucking get you.
That was crazy. Like, when I saw it for the first time, I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, what are you doing here?
Out of all the goddamn people in the world, like, it's fucking Matt Damon, like, this fucking, how you like them apples? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, good, dude, good reference.
Dude, thanks, man. And who would have thought that he would have been the bad
guy? I know!
Right? Like, I was just like, no fucking way, this fucking pansy now. Like, I'm like, I know Matt Damon, but now, like, his actor, like, his acting, what he's doing, his character, just, dude, you're a fucking bitch. Like, stop fucking these guys up.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
You're so cool in Jason Bourne, now you're just being a dick. God, I fucking hate you, Matt Damon.
Dude, he's actually take care of him, bro. I'm pretty sure there's somebody there. I don't respond to those things. That's not my stuff.
Rats. No, it was very good though. And then when it got to the end where he sees his daughter and she's like all old and he's all like, oh, they named the station after me. They're like, no, it's actually named after your daughter, but she's very adamant about how important you were. And as soon as they meet, fucking, a tear welled up in my eye, and I was like, so many years he's waited to fucking see her again, and now he sees her, and now she's about to fucking die. This is fucking bullshit, man.
But dude, you
didn't have to do this to me, Chris.
The fucking CGI or like the animation for the city or whatever, the fucking world, like Halo, oh my basically. God, yeah, that shit was like awesome.
Hit the ball and it like crashes into the house above them. Yeah, it was a very cool concept.
Yeah. They had his old place. Was it his old place? It was like a
like a replica of his house.
It was like a historical. Dude, help me out. What is it?
A historical site.
Yeah. It was funny because Verhagen also never watched it. You guys both watched it at the same time, different places, but same day, same time. And she told me like she was already like 2/3 the way in the movie, and she's like, I already cried like 4 times. This movie's hurting me so much.
It was good. It was very good. I thought
that's one of my favorite movies.
My impression of the movie before, I thought he was like a farmer,
a space farmer.
No, I thought he was a farmer that like built his own rocket to escape the like dying planet Earth, basically. That was kind of my idea that I had before, because I didn't even really see a trailer for it for that one specifically. And so I like when movies give credit to the watcher and they're like, oh, we're just gonna kind of say this stuff and we're gonna let you put two and two together. So when they're like, dude, the world's dying. Yeah. All we have is farmers now. That's what the world needs. And so automatically, you know, like, oh, well, okay, they're obviously in some sort of, not really post-apocalyptic, but things are not going well, and they needed everybody who was like all these high-profile like jobs to come down and be a farmer. Okay, I kind of get it. That's why they're looking for a new. Oh, okay, they're looking for a new world to repopulate the human population. Okay.
Yeah, and I think the crazy twist though was they weren't even really looking for like everybody on Earth to move to.
Fucking Michael Caine.
It was more of just to make sure you continue the human race with just those fucking those test tubes and shit.
He had known that.
No intentions, dude.
He had known. He had fucking solved that equation years ago, and was just buying time to build up fucking.
Yeah.
We gotta send Plan B out, man. Plan B was actually Plan A.
Yeah.
And Plan A was just a sham. Fucking bull.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But the only reason why that movie is one of my favorites was because it deals with like space, and I really like the idea of like voyaging through space and things like that.
Yeah.
And not so necessarily time travel, but I just kind of like that sci-fi feel in movies and shows and stuff like that. So that movie, The Martian, is one of my two.
The Martian's very
top,
good.
Yeah, two top movies in relation to that kind of genre.
Another movie I watched was, you were actually there for the first 30 minutes of it, 1917.
Yeah.
And that one was really good.
I watched the rest of it with you.
You watched the rest of it with me?
I watched 30 minutes, didn't watch 30 minutes, and then I watched the rest 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever.
And so
I missed all the good parts.
So I was kind of, right after I get off watch is like my sleepy time. That's when I'm like most prone to take a nap.
Yeah.
And so like in the beginning when they're just kind of traversing the battle land is when I was like
knocking out. Yeah.
I was like there, falling asleep and waking back up and falling asleep. But like so he went there for 30 minutes and nothing. He was there for 30 minutes and like nothing really happened.
This is when they were walking.
They were just like walking into the German bunker. And if you guys haven't seen the movie, it's one continuous shot is the idea behind the movie.
Yeah.
So the movie appears to be, I was actually reading about it the other day.
Okay.
Appears to be two continuous shots because there's a part that you didn't see when he shoots a German sniper and the German sniper tries to shoot him in the head, but he's wearing his fucking helmet.
Yeah, you
so it hits him in the helmet and he passes out, and that's where it like cuts and then it opens back up and it does the continuous shot again.
The one
coming out of the window.
Yeah. You tell me that.
And so.
Oh, really? So it appears to be, but it wasn't really two continuous shots.
No, it wasn't. It appears to be two continuous shots.
That shit was actually pretty nice.
Done very well. Yeah. So he's here for this whole like traversing the landscape into the German bunker. You know, one continuous shot as it like rotates around the actors walking and stuff.
Yeah. And there's fucking like crater with these dead bodies and shit.
Yeah, they're fucking. It was pretty crazy, and I kind of came to.
Good word.
Came to all the way as soon as he was leaving, and as soon as they like got into the bunker, and literally seconds after he left, a rat fell from the ceiling. And hit some tripwire, and the whole bunker exploded on them, and it was like the first fucking sense of action in the movie. And as he goes, clunk, closes the door, boom, and I'm like, yo, Culata, get back in here. So then I watched the rest of the movie.
Had to get a haircut that day.
I liked too that it was a war movie, and usually war movies are like dark and seedy because war is like dark and crazy.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, in war there's daytime too. So like it took place pretty much except for like one running sequence all through the day.
When he choked out that dude.
Yeah. So it was all daytime outside.
Because you really just transverse through the day and the rest of the night.
So
it's kind of weird. Usually you do the opposite.
It was good. It was a good movie.
I think it was crazy when he finally met up with those fucking that whole fucking squadron or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's just fucking there, listening to them sing.
Yeah.
And then just fucking.
They're like, who the fuck
out
are
of
you?
it. Yeah. Like he was just resting, chilling.
Yeah, dude, I'm tired.
You know.
And then he gets there, and then they're like had little fucking, you know, the first fucking general or whoever he talks to is the guy from Kingsman. I forget his name right now. The British dude.
I'm not gonna remember.
With the glasses, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then the second little general guy he talks to is the other guy from Kingsman, the one that is like their kind of butler sort of guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then all the way at the end, the third
fucking
general that they meet is fucking Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, what the fuck?
And it's crazy because like those are such fucking those actors are like playing these high roles in other movies, and then they just in like the last 10 minutes of this movie.
They're just little like little cameos kind of sort of. So I had looked up whether it was based on a true movie or not, or true events. It wasn't. It was more of just like story. It was based off stories that the director / writer, like that his grandpa told him about World War I.
Oh, okay.
So
this wasn't an actually any
it wasn't
event.
like one linear story, but this is kind of like stories put together into one movie type thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. What have you watched? Maybe that I see you have a list here. What's this? A list?
Dude, my script
consists of.
No, so the movies that I wrote down right there. It's more of not the movies that I've watched here on deployment. I mean, I've watched almost most of them actually because I like those movies. But it was more of kind of grouping movies together to kind of express the genres I like. So Interstellar and Martian was
your sci-fi genre. Okay, so I'm gonna read them, and then you tell me what genres they are. Ready?
Why are you quishing me?
Why are you quishing me? Goofy Movie, Lion King, Greatest Showman, Pitch Perfect, School of Rock.
So I like those because they're like basically comedies, and it basically had songs and like musical kind of thing.
Okay.
So The Greatest Showman, obviously, that was like that really good movie that we started watching in deployment, especially you, fucking listening to soundtracks and shit just all the time. And I just, since I like singing a lot and I like dancing a lot, those are like usually the movies that I've watched when I was younger. They had a lot of singing and a lot of dancing in them.
I will say in the Goofy Movie, if fucking Powerline ever came with an album, yeah, I would buy that shit so fast.
Dude, that shit is
fucking hot fire.
That was a good song.
Yeah, it is a good song.
I used to sing that shit at Great Lakes when we were getting ready to go out to the fucking bar.
That's the one? How does it go at the end? The final song he sings?
Dude, I haven't watched. I wrote that one because I had it on VHS and I used to watch that shit all the time because that was like one of the movies
big one.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't even remember it though. Like,
we're gonna look it up later. We're gonna come back with a rendition.
Yeah.
We got her now. All right. So 28 days later, World War Z. I've never seen this one actually. Train to Busan.
Okay, so that one was on Netflix, and that was like a very, very big hit. But
Really?
It's in like Korean, so it's a Korean zombie movie. Those are all zombie movies, obviously. And
if I could break in real quick,
go ahead.
There's this quote from this Korean director, who I don't know the name of. How convenient. But he says that basically, if people can get over this small hurdle of subtitles, like it opens up so many more movies to them. Basically
That
saying
makes sense.
like, dude, get over the fact that you have to read these stupid subtitles, and you can see, you'd be able to watch and understand and like enjoy so many more movies than just what's made in America.
In America, yeah.
And I couldn't agree more with movies. My friend was like really into Korean movies. Is that alright? My friend was really into like Korean movies when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And so like we watched a bunch of them, and like none of the movies he showed me were bad. They were all good.
Yeah.
So definitely, I kind of want to get over this hurdle myself. But as I was saying the other day, the easiest way for me to like watch a movie, as opposed to just like looking at a list, is have somebody be like, "Dude, you should watch this movie. It's good," and I'll like for sure watch it within the next 2 days of being told.
So, Train to Busan, really good movie.
Is it?
Subtitles, but it's only on Netflix, so you can't watch it a couple days. But so I mean that kind of goes with anime and things like that too. I'm not a big anime fan, but I know a lot of people.
You were just watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, you liar.
Dude, that's a cartoon.
Okay.
And I was watching Korra. Anyways, I haven't been a big fan of watching anime anymore. Like I stopped because of that, because of subtitles. But I think the the genre of a zombie movie, like a zombie apocalyptic movie.
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of steered me to watch Train to Busan, because from what I read, it was like fucking like the top movie in, I think it was Korea. I'm pretty sure it's Korea, and it was like it grossed out so much money because of it, just to Netflix. Yeah. Ew. But like the zombies in that one, it's like World War Z.
I haven't seen World War Z either.
You never seen World War Z?
No, I know that's Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah. So
don't tell me anything.
Okay, well there's different type of zombies in movies, where they're like the Walking Dead one, where they're just like fucking slow as fuck, you know, like my obese self trying to walk, and they have those fast ass motherfuckers. Like there are some zombie movies where like they transform into a zombie within seconds. Yeah. You know, or there's some where like it takes like a couple days for them to transform into a zombie. But World War Z, Train to Busan, and I think 28 Days Later, they transform really quickly, and they have that ability to run really fast, and they get smarter throughout the movie. So that's why I like those movies specifically. There's other zombie movies, but a lot of them are like, there's actually not that many zombie movies.
There's a lot.
Not that many.
Zombies got pretty big for a while.
Yeah, but
there's zombie stuff left and right.
Okay, I guess.
You like Warm Bodies?
I've seen it. Okay, yeah, I guess it's a zombie movie.
What do you mean you guessed there's zombies in it?
It is a zombie movie. It was more of like a drama. It wasn't like really a
still zombies
suspenseful thriller, action-y movie.
It was a dramedy.
Okay, yeah. A lot of those are like, they implemented the zombie things, like with, what are those two fucking English dudes?
Simon Pegg and something Frost. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, yeah. You know, like movies like that.
That movie terrified me when I was a kid.
But it's really funny though.
It is. I watched it when I was older, but the fucking when the fucking I watched it in Blockbuster. What an old sentence. It was like on one of the TVs they had like mounted up on the ceiling.
Yeah. Oh, that's like that.
And I'm like just watching it because I know I shouldn't be watching it. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what this is, but check this shit out. So I'm watching it. It's going good. And I'm like all right with it. And it's the scene where I'll like never forget it. The scene where the chick, they're like, ugh, get away. Stop, get away. And
so this is like in the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. They push her and she lands on that fucking umbrella holder thing. Yeah. And they're all like, oh my god.
We killed her.
We killed her. And she gets up and she just has this hole in her chest. And I'm like, ah! Like fucking however old I was, like 10.
Mom!
No, I'm not supposed to be watching it, so I couldn't tell anybody.
Oh my god. So you're just terrified.
I'm just terrified. And I'm like,
Blockbuster.
I have to take the trash out later in the night. And I'm thinking some zombie's going to come up. I'm like, they're going to come up and I'm not going to be able to kill him. Like, as if I was going to be able to kill a human being at 10 either way. Like, what the heck?
That's funny.
And finally I was just so reefed with fear. No. I went to my mom. I was like, I watched this movie I shouldn't have watched in Blockbuster. I don't know what it's called.
Did you really?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but they were trying to kill these people and these people weren't dying. And is that going to happen for real? And they're like, why are you watching that? I'm like, I don't know. Funny enough, I soon after that, maybe 2 years, I loved watching scary movies.
Yeah. I think the concept of zombie apocalypse though, like I feel like I would, because I like playing like The Last of Us and shit like that. Yeah. I think the concept of it is obviously terrifying, but being able to like just go around and killing zombies and shit, like that'd be fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I think surviving would be the shittiest part.
Yeah. Cause dude, then we're gonna smell all nasty and stuff. I'm a clean person.
That's my one worry, smelling nasty. How about food? I see your last.
Food.
Your last
group of
movies is Last Samurai, Pearl Harbor, Troy, Edge of Tomorrow, King. I've never seen this movie, King.
That's also on Netflix. So
King and
these movies, it's more of like war movies. So like with that set, what is it, 1917?
1917, yeah.
I like that movie, but there wasn't too much of like a big battle, big war scene. Like I guess at the end, yeah, these guys are just running, but there was no like actual combat with each other besides like individually with.
Whereas like in The Last Samurai, they have that fucking final fight, and that shit's bad as fuck.
So it kind of sounds bad. I've said this before, I think in the podcast already, but I like movies where there's like a whole bunch of people dying, like in war.
You didn't have to say it with your face like that though. A whole bunch of people dying.
It's more of
You like seeing fights. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I like seeing fights too.
Yeah.
One of my main questions when somebody, like, if somebody suggests me a movie, because sometimes I get in, like, an action-y mood,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, what are you trying to watch? I'm like, I'm trying to see people get the shit beat out of them. And that's about it.
Oh, The Warrior.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good movie too.
I still didn't watch that one. But yeah, so those movies specifically, I honestly really like. I like Tom Cruise and
Clearly.
yeah,
He's twice on here. Edge of Tomorrow.
yeah, Edge of Tomorrow and The Last Samurai. Last time I watched that movie at the theaters actually with my dad,
Really?
and I was like a kid still. So like after the movie, I was like, Dad, I want to get a sword.
Gangi Tenkai!
And he fucking bought a thing of wood, like a tube of wood,
Yeah.
and he fucking cut it up to like a wooden sword.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
and,
cool.
And I was like my little Filipino self just fucking going around the house. yeah, dude. Fuck you, dude. I was Last Samurai and the Waterbender, you bitch. Fuck out of here. I had a great imagination when I was a kid. All right.
I'm not laughing at you. It's
Fuck
just
you.
funny. Because I'm just picturing like a shorter
sweating now.
you.
Yeah, actually, I was really fat too when I was doing this shit with long hair. There'll be a picture down below.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
And I can totally picture you like. I used to play fight at school all the time, so I know what you're talking about.
yeah, whatever. Dude.
Just going around.
You're just trying to fit in, whatever. But yeah,
Talking to Tom, you're like you were imagining. So Tom, you think you're the last samurai? We'll see about that.
But yeah, those war movies are really cool, especially the fighting scenes. King, specifically that movie, it's a medieval time movie. So it's like this kid, I can't remember the details, but basically this drunk son became the king and assumed that position, and there's another country trying to they're like harassing him.
Yeah.
So he went in full force and attacked them. But you know how like back in the day, like they would just fucking walk
Clash
towards
at
each
the-
other.
yeah.
Yeah. They had like this very, very strategic like method in fighting, because like they were like fighting in this like not a trench but like in a valley or
Yeah.
something like that, and like they were using like just the fact that they have heavy armor, it's about to rain, we're gonna wear light armor, they're gonna be slow as fuck, like we can just fucking fuck them up.
Yeah.
And like their battle, like it went on for so long that they were still fighting on top of bodies. Like it, you know, like in old war movies, they don't really show like them stepping over fucking, like they're literally on piles of dead bodies,
Yeah.
still going at it. Like these guys are like
Oh shit.
fucking fully mudded out. Like there's piles of bodies still fight. Like it was ridiculous. And it actually came out like maybe 2-3 weeks right before we left on the plane.
Really?
Yeah. It's fucking. I thought it was a great movie. It just it added on that fucking
watch
war
that.
movie type shit. And I like the medieval times too. So
Everybody, you gotta love swords.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You gotta love sword fights.
Yeah. And
I doubt anybody in this day and age looks at a sword fight and be like, "Psh, lame."
I don't know, man. Yeah, sure. There's some people out there.
Doubt it. I like in Troy, obviously the opening
Oh,
scene.
Yeah, Troy. Fucking
The opening
Troy.
scene's probably the best to me. Yeah, he's all like, he's like, that Thessalonian, he's a big man. I wouldn't want to fight him. And he's like, that's why nobody's gonna remember your name.
Yeah.
And goes off, and they're like, Achilles! And the fucking big ass dude, and he's just like running at him, throws the spear, just like a quick nods to the left.
Just fuck. What's it called? When he blocks with the shield, though, that shit's like. Imagine how big of an impact a lot of those things are. It's fucking nothing.
And just fucking jumps up, fucking one right to the shoulder.
Big ass dude too.
Looks at the king as he like slows to his walking. He's like, "What's up, bitch?"
It's basically. I like the scene where he like got his spear, like when they were storming the beach, and like he grabbed the spear and threw it at that motherfucker that's a part of Troy. I can't remember.
Paris?
The son, the actual like fighting son.
Alright, I know who you're
On
talking
the horse and
Yeah, I know
shit.
who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
But like he threw the spear and like they're still galloping in, and then the fucking spear hits the dude and he flies off his horse, and they're just like, what the fuck? Like should we still be going? Like,
Oh
this
my
is
god.
that guy was far. That was a spear. Like, I don't know. Well, yeah, war movies.
Did you like 300?
I did, but I don't think I watched it a lot to be like, oh yeah, I remember that movie well enough. Because those movies that I listed, they're movies that I've definitely watched multiple times. Yeah. So, I know I had a list and all. I just kind of wanted to be prepared a little bit for myself because I always forget things. But for you, I remember we've talked about that you used to be into comedies all the time, a lot. And that your old girlfriend was like, you watch too many comedies, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But now you like those tearjerker movies,
I
right?
like watching serious suspense or like dramas. Something to make me feel
like a woman.
No. Dude, it's not a normal thing, alright? Stop hitting me.
What? Oh, yeah, stop hitting me.
Oh, you put me on the spot. Comedies, huh?
Well, I mean, like, because, like, we watched, I remember Midsummer, like, somebody had it on their hard drive, and then you watched it, and you were telling other people to watch it, and that movie is obviously not a comedy.
Not at all.
It's like, I don't even know.
Let's talk about Midsummer real quick.
Okay, sure.
What did you think about Midsummer? So you have to imagine, everybody, that on the ship, we have hard drives, and these hard drives contain pretty much...
Dude, we can't have those things.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Pretty much contain our life source for entertainment.
Okay, so yeah, I thought you were going to say something else. Anyways, go ahead.
And porn.
And porn. Yes.
Our life source for entertainment.
ESOS trading.
Our ESOS study guides. You guys know what we're talking about.
Pointing at all three cameras.
And so, like, if somebody has something on their hard drive, you kind of maybe watch something with them, and you're like, "Yo, I'm gonna get my hard drive. I gotta get this movie from you."
Yeah.
And like you get it on your hard drive, and you start recommending it to other people, and they take it from your hard drive, and that's how stuff kind of gets passed
spreads.
around. Yeah.
Like coronavirus.
Pass that shit like a cold and shit.
Coronavirus.
Like coronavirus. That's from a Biggie Smalls song.
Oh yeah,
He's talking about girls though.
That's from current events. And I'm talking about lives.
We're not fucking those hoes. I'm invincible. Don't love no hoe. That's my principle.
If you want to hear him rap more, go back to episode 11.
And so, I tried watching that movie by myself, but
I watched it by myself.
When she was crying alone in the room, I was just like, I don't think I want to watch this.
That was the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was right away. I was like, I don't think I want to watch this by myself.
Okay.
And I finally got down there to watch it with them down at Fort IC, and I was pretty hooked. As soon as I realized, like, I was very unsure how this movie was gonna roll.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that. Like, you don't know that it's a scary movie, or like a suspense thriller movie for one.
Yeah.
Again, spoiler alert, but you should have seen this shit. If you know the director, then you know what it's about.
Honestly, I didn't know anything about this movie.
Yeah.
I
didn't really know anything about the director at the time, but since then I've researched and kind of checked out his shit.
Shyamalan.
Since Ari Aster, but...
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm thinking about a different movie.
You know M. Night Shyamalan?
Isn't that Glass and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Wrong person.
And so, I'm watching it, and as time progresses slowly in the movie, I'm like, yo, something's fucked up in this movie.
Yeah.
This movie isn't right. And nothing really bad has happened yet. Like, they just seem like this girl loses her parents in the beginning, and her sister... The sister commits suicide and like forces the parents to commit suicide also. And so she goes on this trip with her boyfriend and his friends, like in the summer, to this guy's like commune back in fucking the Netherlands or some shit.
Yeah, I think so.
And
it seemed like a normal
kind
drama.
of just drama movie. Like maybe she's gonna get through this by like reaping the benefits of staying at this place, which I guess in the end she kind of does. But
yeah,
you soon find out that this movie fucking is not meant for the faint of heart.
Yeah. When
they come up and do the etu step.
Oh man.
So what's funny is when that part happened, they're like, oh yeah, you gotta come watch the etu step with us. And everybody in the room that I was with was like, what the fuck is the etu step? And I'm like, yo, they're about to jump off a fucking cliff.
How'd you know that?
I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, okay. What?
I'm like, yo, they're about to jump off a fucking cliff. And they like look at me and they're like, no, they're not. And like, sure as shit, they like
They jump off a
check out the
goddamn
fucking cliff and they jump off and they're like, why are they doing this? And I was like, because they're old and they need, like, I basically explained why they were doing it. And like as soon after I explained it, they're like,
The movie explained it.
Yeah, the movie explains it. And they're like, pause it and they look at me and they're like, why the fuck do you know this stuff? And I was like, I used to watch this show called Norseman.
Oh, okay. No, that's also back in the day, like the Vikings time type shit, right?
Yeah, it's a Vikings movie.
Yeah.
Or a Vikings show, but it's like with the same type of style and like dry humor as The Office.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's super funny. It's made by these fucking like Swedish dudes.
Okay.
And so like it's violent in the fact that they're Vikings, so they go to war and stuff, but when they come back from war, this dude is like trying to find love in a fucking hopeless place basically, and this other girl is like married to this wimp, but she's like a warrior herself, so she's like tired of dealing with his wimpiness. And then this one lady gets married to this Viking warrior, and she wants him to do like around the house tasks, and he's like, I just want to go fucking rape and pillage.
Oh my god.
And she's all like, well, you don't always have time to rape and pillage. I need you to take out the wood, chops, like, you know, it's like a normal life of a Viking.
Yeah.
You don't really consider like the normal stuff that they had to kind of do to survive besides their war and stuff. But they do, in like the first couple episodes, they do that. They do the Etsy step. And like all these old people are all like see the first dude jump and they're like, hey, we just won't come back to the village, man. Like, is that cool? And the guy's like, yeah, just make sure you don't come back, because then they might kill me. I'm only a slave, so I don't really have any say, but I'm not going to tell if you don't tell. And they're like, yeah, okay, we're just going to leave. So that's what I knew what it was. And then so when that part came up, I was like, oh, I already know what this is.
That's funny. That part was terrible, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And then slowly it's still such a bright and colorful movie, though. You're like,
yeah.
Well, you know, that is a tradition, so it can't be all that bad. But slowly things started like, nope, this movie's fucking weird.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I watched it by myself. Like, sometimes people would come in, because, like, after their watch or something.
That's 3 hours. That's a long movie.
Yeah. So I was just, like, watching it, I'm like, I don't even know if I should be, like, if somebody walked in while I'm watching this movie at, like, certain parts, I'd be like, what the fuck are you watching right now?
Like the part where he's fucking that chick on the bed of flowers, and they're
shut up! You were gonna think we're fucking doing something weird.
And you see just some cheeks.
Oh, God.
You're like, whoa, those are some dude cheeks right there.
I think I told Dugan to watch that movie, and he watched it by himself too. I think that's what happened. It's like a little 21-year-old kid. Innocent little kid.
Yeah, a little kid. A 16-year-old that faked his birth certificate to join the Navy.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midsommar was definitely a hit.
It was a movie to watch, yeah.
It was a hit when people started talking about it. So a lot of people started watching it here.
Yeah. Then I know this one guy was like, we finished it down in Fort IC, and he was like, well, that's 3 hours of your life that you're never going to get back.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly like this person for outline factors, but he was, I was like, well, please.
Tea time.
Enlighten me. Why is this a bad movie? And he's like, it just is.
Wow.
And I'm all like, no, you say it's bad. Tell me why it's bad. And he's like, well, I don't know why it's bad. I just don't think it's a good movie. And I'm like, well, if you don't have, any real opinions on it, you just think it's bad because you think it's bad, then your opinion doesn't really matter to me. And he's like, whatever. I just don't like when people are like, it's just bad. Well, why?
With no reasoning behind it.
You have to have a reason. If you tell me why it's bad and I still think it's good, like, well, at least I know why you think it's bad. I can see it from your point of view. But if you're just like, cuz, get out of here. That, as they say, bullshit.
That was a trippy movie. I think the part that just kind of hit me was the blanket. How it like does the story about how that little girl or
fucking take her pubes.
Yeah, and her fucking period fucking shit into the juice. I was just like,
delicious.
Why is this shit darker? Oh my god, no. No.
There was another movie that guy came out with called Hereditary.
Yeah, you told me about it. I saw it a lot on Amazon Prime. I never got to watch
really?
watch it. Yeah. Do you have it?
I'd have to check. I don't think so though. I watched it off Site TV. I asked
okay.
the ICs if they had it,
And then
just like
for
talking about a hard drive. And they're like, yeah, we have it. And I was like, oh, cool, let me pick it up. And I like went and got my hard drive, and I went down, and they're like putting the DVD into the player. I was like, well,
What did you watch it at though?
I watched it after I seen it.
Oh, okay.
I literally was like, oh, guess I'm hanging out back here. And I sat there and watched the rest of it. Or watched
See, but
the movie.
that's how you know you're a movie person, because you were literally doing something. You were actively doing something with your day, and then like now a movie comes on, you're like, you know, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch this movie now. You know?
Yeah, I guess
I think
so.
you can, and I mean, you said that in previous podcasts that one of your favorite places is the fucking movie theaters back at home.
Also
So
true. I do love going to the movies.
I really enjoy movies. It's just I have bad memory. I can't remember people's names. I can't remember a lot of things. So.
I was comparing.
One more year.
Give me the plant. You ever seen that meme?
No.
It's the robot from WALL-E, like the dude who runs the ship.
Okay.
And he's like, give me the plant, talking about the little boot plant.
Yeah.
It's like me after getting out of the Navy.
Oh. I get it. That's funny. That's crazy.
Shut up.
You seen that meme?
Yeah, I
You did.
did. That one was good though. That's both of those are Ari Aster. Like I was saying, I'm not gonna tell you what that one's about. Just know that it's a wild, devilish ride.
Yeah, I definitely.
It may blow your hair back. All of those are clues to what the movie's about. So.
Okay.
You said you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. No.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, everyone that's listening,
tell us what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What hairs?
What hairs are being blown back? The pubis hairs, maybe?
The ear hairs, maybe?
Ew. I was watching. Alright, this is gonna sound weird. Sometimes I just like to go into the movies that I have and watch specific scenes out of them.
I do that, yeah.
Like that I know that are there. So like when we were watching The Warrior the other day, and I just wanted to watch the part where he fucking beats the shit out of that one dude, or like I'll watch the part where the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards beats the fuck out of the fucking.
That's funny.
The guy.
That was a good movie.
He's like, what does he say? Like, out of the fucking ballpark, he went yard on that one. Batter up, 2 hits. I hear you. You hit the ground. And shoots him. But I was watching
The Greatest Showman, and you watched every single scene where they're singing.
Yeah, that one too. But I do that just for random movies.
Yeah. Okay.
Shut up. And so I was watching The Lion King, the new one.
I've never seen that actually.
I don't recommend it.
Okay.
Which is why I was kind of like flipping through. I was like, let me just see. Like, people said it was bad. People said they like walked out of the theater. Like, this is
Really?
atrocious. Yeah. Like, it just didn't hit the mark. The idea seemed cool.
It's because they're real animals.
They're not real animals.
Well,
but
they're CGI. They're animals. They're like trying to make it as real as possible.
yeah, no. Like, I had heard that, and then I watched it, and I immediately knew exactly what they were talking about. I was like, yeah, this just looks kind of weird. Like, a little unsettling because they're fake, but they look so real, but yet they're talking, as opposed to like if they just got like in like Homeward Bound or Cats versus Dogs, they like have real dogs and they just kind of like CGI over their mouth to make them talk. Like, that seems a lot more convincing than like
actual
totally CGIing these animals to make them look stupid real, and then
like Animal
just
Planet
having
real.
them like having them talk. You're like, and I think the voices were so iconic with these characters because it's not like in Aladdin where like the person, it's just a person talking over a person. These are like animals that have human voices, obviously. So the voices that became attached to these characters became so like normalized, and that's what everybody expected. The moment they changed them to like Seth Rogen and whoever plays Timon.
Yeah.
And I know
Charles
Donald
Gambino,
Donald Glover
Beyonce.
plays fucking Simba. It was just so different and not the same. And I believe that whenever you do a remake, taking creative liberties is like an okay thing, and you should do that. You should strive to make put a own little twist on the movie.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and I'll get into those examples right now. it's hard to do it when what they did in the original was so good.
So good.
Like,
iconic movie too.
So good that there's no way you can do anything that is either just as good or better. Like, whatever you're going to do is going to be worse.
So,
oh, go ahead.
Do you feel that way for the remake of Aladdin?
No, actually, I thought that one was good. I thought it was good in a different way. I also liked the chick, how she got her own little, like, extra song in. I thought that was really good. I actually did not mind Will Smith as Genie at all.
Yeah.
I think he definitely... Somebody, like, made a post that was like, everybody's fucking harping on Will Smith.
I think he killed it.
That he's not going to be a good Genie and that his costume looks stupid. But imagine how he feels having to follow up the performance of, like, Robin Williams.
Exactly, yeah.
And, like, no doubt Robin Williams was going to be up there in heaven thinking, like, you know... I think he's going to be alright, you know, because that's the kind of guy Robin Williams was. So, I heard. I didn't know him, but... no, I did like Aladdin. I thought Guy Ritchie is the guy who directed that movie, who you might know him from other movies, like...
Drives, Dines, and Diners.
No, what? That's Guy Fieri. You bastard. Oh my gosh. You almost had me. I was like, yeah! No.
Oh my god.
With
his fucking frosted tips.
No. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Rock and Rolla. Those are like his 3 big movies. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. That one
I thought King Arthur was terrible, wasn't it?
No, there's King Arthur with fucking Orlando Bloom. That's a really old movie.
Oh, okay.
And then there's King Arthur, Legend of the Sword with fucking... What's that dude's
The dude
name?
from Son of Anarchy?
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy?
Him.
I heard that one was bad.
It was alright.
Okay. But no, I don't know that.
But Guy Ritchie is a good director.
I don't know that director.
You ever seen Snatch?
A long time ago. I can't even remember.
It's like the fucking gypsy boxer.
Probably not, I don't know.
That's a good movie. So, I mean, all 3 of them are good. Either way, he directed Aladdin, so it's like, not so much his normal directing style, which is very apparent in the 3 movies that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Even a little apparent in the King Arthur movie. But in this one, it obviously wasn't. But it was still like, I don't know, it kind of put you at ease knowing that he was directing it. Because, you know, he does good work. It was very colorful, and I liked all the dancing choreography that they had with the big number.
Oh, you like dancing?
Yeah, dude, I used to dance in this
Get the fuck out
group
of here. Shut
called
up.
Water Polo Boys.
Shut up.
Shout out to my gravy babies out there. Yay.
I'm sorry, you guys that are into Gravy Babies and listen to this.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun with you.
I'm making fun at you, not with you. What?
But either way, the things I was comparing were mainly in the end, which were 3 different sequences. There was the one where Pumbaa and Timon are used for live bait. They're like, we gotta distract them. How are we gonna distract them? And Simba's like, live bait. And in the original, it goes something like this. He's like, what do you want me to do? Cross-dress and do the hula? And then he goes, like, the next scene cuts to them, and it's Timon in, like, a little grass skirt and a flower in his ear. And he's like, wow! If you want a big, like, fat hunk of juicy meat, here's my friend Pumbaa, because he is a treat. Get in line, like, offer up a dime. All you gotta do is step in line. Something like that. Are you aching? Yup. For some bacon? Yup. He's a big pig. Yup. You can be a big pig too. Oi! And which is just like
hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then they run away and they're like, ah!
Yeah.
And then there's another one which
wait, did that actually happen in the...
Oh, so sorry. In the original or in the new one, so bad. They like, we're gonna need live bait, and they basically quote the beginning of "Be Our Guest," and he's like, "Dinner is served, mademoiselle," and fucking whatever. Be run, and that was it. And you're just like, that was fucking lame, man. That was so stupid.
So they changed.
They literally quoted Beauty and the Beast in Lion King.
So they changed the movie then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like, I mean, I can't remember Aladdin well enough, the old one. But I feel like some of the Disney movies, they were really going same exact thing.
Aladdin was a little bit different with like the party where he does the dance and stuff. They obviously didn't have that. They didn't have the love story between Genie and the handmaiden.
Yeah.
But again, creative liberties are okay to take when remaking stuff. just got to do it right. And
Yeah.
in which case,
The Lion King didn't
do it right. Yeah, I felt like the quoting of Beauty and the Beast in the movie was just a cop out. Like, we don't really know what to do. We don't want to do the same thing, so we're just gonna quote a movie from another Disney movie. Like, that'll be cool, right? And no, it wasn't cool.
No,
so the other part was a part that me and my sister actually quote a lot, where Zazu is in like the ribcage, kind of in a jail.
Yeah.
And he's saying, "Let me out, let me out, let me out." And Timon is running to him, and he's going, "Let me in, let me in, let me in." And the hyenas are chasing Timon into the ribcage.
Yeah.
And so they're chilling there. And then Pumbaa steps up, and he's all like, he says something, and they're like, "Hey, who's the pig?" It's fucking Cheech Marin playing one of the hyenas.
Okay.
He's like, "You know who that is?"
No.
Cheech and Chong.
Oh, okay. And wait,
And that, yeah,
in the old one?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
The hyena, one of the hyenas is Cheech Marin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin, and then fucking the dude who's like,
Ed, whatever
Yeah.
his name is. Yeah.
And so he goes, he's like, "Hey, who's the pig?" And then he's like, "What'd you just call me?" And they're like, Timon's like, "Did you just call him a pig?" And he's like, "What'd you just call me?" And they're like, "Oh, you did not just call him a pig. They call me Mr. Pig." Ah! And he fucking kicks the shit out of them. And they all run away and shit, and they get back out. And then you see Timon and Pumbaa like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, ooh."
Yeah. They're like hyping each other up.
Yeah, it was good. Like, you know, just the sequence, the way he was drawn. And in this one, there was no let me in, let me in, let me out, let me out. It was just like Timon on top of Pumbaa, and they're all like, "First we're gonna eat the meerkat, then we're gonna eat Chubby." And he's like, "What'd you just call me?" And he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." "But did you just call me Chubby? I will run from a hyena any day, but I will always stand up to a bully." And he like,
What?
yeah, and you're just like, it just doesn't hit the same. You're like, what? I mean, he fucks him up, sure, but
Yeah.
it was just like,
It wasn't like how it was in the old movie.
yeah, it just wasn't the same. And the last one, which is maybe one of the funniest parts in the movie, is when these hyenas are about to jump Simba, and Rafiki jumps down, and he's like, has his stick, and he's like doing karate moves, and he's like, "Whoa!" And like a hyena runs at him, he jumps up, does a flip, and like fucking smacks him with his fucking thing, and then one of them tries to sneak up behind him, and he does it like a back fist, and he's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's good old classic comedy.
Yeah.
And in the new one, he jumps at the hyenas, and I was really excited. I was like, maybe they left this one the way it is. But he jumps at hyenas, and he's just like, like if this is his staff, he's just like,
I don't know that.
like just kind of
Just
waving,
going crazy.
Yeah, not really like
not
organized or anything. He's
yeah.
just like, weird to say, but he's just a monkey with a stick. Like he's not the Rafiki, the kung fu master.
Yeah.
And then after I watched that, I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch this movie ever.
That's
Sorry,
sad.
sorry, Donald Glover. You're funny in Community and everything else you do.
And
but
everything else, especially
Beyonce, you didn't do it this time.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Sorry, kiddo.
I've never gotten to that point where I wanted to watch it. Aladdin, I did. I really wanted to watch Aladdin
Yeah.
because of Will Smith.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I actually watched it the first time here.
We were talking about the other day what movies we would like to see remade, and I was saying if they remake Atlantis: The Lost Empire live action.
You know, I've never actually seen that movie.
Assemble all zone inspectors and reporters on the mess decks.
Shit.
at
You have a zone inspection?
14:30
Yeah.
for zone inspection.
What time is it?
Obviously, time for the zone inspection. It's 14:27.
Shit. I don't even think I picked up my fucking thing.
All right, guys. It's cut short now.
Yeah, I guess we kind of have to.
Yeah, because you got to do shit. All right, so movies.
Damn it.
Dude, nice going, bro. Way to prepare for this. What a fucking asshole. What, bro? What?
You know it was weak.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't want to hurt you. Bitch. Get out of here. Anyways.
Either way, leave your comments down below of what your favorite. I like doing this because it feels so generic. Real quick, let's do this. I have guilty pleasure movies that I like to watch, but I know aren't good.
Uh-huh.
Do you have something like that?
You first.
All right, my guilty pleasure movies. I have two: Speed Racer, visually pleasing, overall as a movie, not that great, kind of cheesy, love watching it. Other movie, John Carter, Disney movie about this guy who gets transported to Mars. Weird story altogether, kind of like very like clunky acting. Not a great movie, but I believe really fun to watch because you get to see people fight and like arms get cut off and shit, and you're like tight. All right, go ahead.
I think I have one. I think we talked about this. Is The Edge of Tomorrow.
But that's not a bad movie.
Is it not?
No.
I thought a lot of people didn't like it. Damn. Here, have some of my fucking water.
This one Spritzer.
Oh, okay. We're already recording, by the way. So I don't know a fucking guilty pleasure movie. Oh god. Dude, copyright.
Yay, yay.
I can't really think of it.
Speaking of copyright, can we talk about these? Is that alright? Yeah, I guess so. We're not showing anything. We're just
Yeah,
discussing.
we're just talking about it. It's not actual like video of it or
Yeah.
anything like that.
When the world oppresses your ideas, that's a dictatorship.
I want to fucking slap you so bad. I don't want to though because I know. Oh yeah, huh? Sorry, he's taking his pre-workout and I'm trying to fuck with him. Anyways, I really don't know a guilty pleasure movie though. Like I thought Edge of Tomorrow is one of those movies. But before, since he's taking his pre-workout right now in a very odd way, that I'm pretty sure nobody should ever take your pre-workout like that. Looks pretty unhealthy. A movie that I actually like is fuck, what is it called? I can't remember.
Oh man.
It's the one with like it's something one.
I got a good example for you. It's not my guilty pleasure movie.
Okay,
Something one.
Just tell me what
If you were to tell me, oh yeah, I really like the movie Jumper.
Jumper was okay, but I didn't really like it.
That movie is fucking terrible.
Were they like teleported and shit?
Yeah, with Hayden Christian Anderson and fucking Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm trying to think of the movie I'm talking about. It's the one where they had like the Iron Giant in it. It was a fucking Steven Spielberg
Ready
movie.
Player One.
Ready Player One, yeah. That was a good movie.
That was good.
That was a really good movie.
I was never a big reader as a kid.
I never read that book. All these movies and stuff that had books like based off of the book, I never read the book.
So I read
any of them.
I read Ready Player One, and I read it in a day, like in a 24-hour period. I read it.
What?
Yeah.
How big of a book was it?
It was like 400 pages.
What? You can read 400 pages in a day?
Yeah.
What the fuck do I do?
Well, it was on my way back from deployment. Like we did a 10-hour bus ride down from Glasgow, Ireland or Scotland, down to Portsmouth, England, to fly out of England to go back to Norfolk.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were part of the. You weren't a part of the type. Okay.
So I had like literally 24 hours to do nothing but read. Like my phone didn't work because it had broken, so it was whatever.
Okay.
So all I did was read this book, and the book was really good. So I had no worry about like I really wanted to finish it basically.
Yeah.
So I just read at a normal pace and ended up reading the whole thing. It was excellent. And so I was excited to figure out when I came back to the States that the movie was coming out. Super excited actually. And I went to go watch it when it finally did come out with this one girl.
Commanding officer, please contact the pilot house for a routine report.
Leandra, what's up? And I was very disappointed in the movie, but even more so disappointed in myself because I knew that if I had never read that book, I probably would have really liked the movie. But because I read the book, it set a precedence for what I expected, and what I expected was not what I was given.
Obviously, but that's how it is for every book.
I had that feeling that people get when they read it and then watch it, and they're like, it's
not gonna
not
do it
as
justice.
good.
Yeah,
and it really doesn't. I was skeptical. Like Joe Rogan makes this joke. Hey Joe, I know you're also a podcaster. Fucking
yeah, we're trying to be like you, white.
No, you don't want to be the.
I've never.
Fusion.
I don't know what we just did right
That's
now.
from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. Why What does that have to do with Joe Rogan?
Because me and you fusing together, we become Joe Rogan.
He's not Filipino and black.
I'm not black.
I thought you were Afro-Latin.
Shut the fuck up.
I learned about that the other day.
From who?
The people in our division. The white people in our division.
You talking to Nella McDonald again?
No, it's like, I didn't know, because Denovich was saying that her mom is like Cuban or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought she was black. And she's like, yeah, she's Afro-Latin. And I'm like, that's not black. And she's like, yeah, that's black. That's basically black. And I'm like, oh.
I mean,
and then Asperillo, I didn't know Asperillo was, he said he was Colombian.
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't mean you're black. He's like, yeah, I'm Afro-Latin. And I'm like, that's not black. Like, I'm like very confused.
I wouldn't consider him black either.
Yeah, I didn't consider him black.
I feel like he's just Colombian, you know?
Exactly.
Like, he can say Afro-Latin, sure, like, but I feel, whoa, what a change of events we're about
Sorry,
to take.
no,
real quick.
Fine.
I feel like, and I've had
I've
people,
just seen this one for the first time.
I've had people agree with, about this with me, like, just because you're from England and you're, like, your ancestry is from Africa, doesn't mean you're black. Like, being black is a very, like, American centralized type of culture / society to be from. Being part of the black community is not like people from Haiti that come here, you know, they aren't black, they're Haitian. People from fucking Uganda or Kenya, they're Kenyan, they're Ugandan. And black people who are from America, they are black. Whereas, like, sure, you can be Afro-Latin, like Asprilla, but Asprilla's from Colombia. He is Colombian.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's really, that's what I was very confused about. Because Denovich was saying that she's part black and part Serbian or something like that. I don't know.
Now, I haven't met her mother, so I couldn't. This is gonna sound weird, but, like, I haven't met her mother, so not that I'm the one determining factor if somebody's black or not. If she's black or she's not, but I couldn't say, like, well, your mom's not black, but I also couldn't say, like, your mom is black. I just haven't met her, because as much as we don't play into stereotypes, you know, sometimes they happen, and sometimes they're true. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Anyways,
you might have not liked those last comments, but hey, I'm here to be honest, not to pander, so.
I just didn't know that was a thing, an Afro-Latin. When they told me that was like literally the first time I've ever heard that. Because I thought Colombians were just Colombian, not black.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were considered black.
Maybe they're like...
Yeah, they're dark, but...
Maybe they're like...
They're not black.
They're their own black of Colombia.
I guess. I don't know.
Either way.
I don't know. I just lived in California my whole life, so I don't really know anything else.
Sure.
I'm doing... movies, though.
I watched... So, I know at the beginning of deployment, we watched, like, crazy amounts of horror movies.
Yeah.
Right?
It wasn't even the beginning. It was like the middle.
Fair enough.
Check yourself.
So
you'll wreck yourself.
What was one of your favorite ones coming out of there? Coming from that genre. Doesn't even have to be that we watched on deployment, but, you know.
Yeah. So I actually enjoyed the It movies that came out. I know they remade the first one and then the chapter 2 and all that kind of stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, those were good movies. I enjoyed it. I've never actually seen the first one, or like the original one.
So the original one was made in a 4-part miniseries. So if you watch the whole thing, it's like 4 hours long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So I guess it's kind of just watching 1 and 2, one right after the other, but...
Oh, so chapter 2 is still part of the original...
series that was made, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the first 2 are when they're kids, and just like in chapter 2,
they're adults.
The third and fourth one, they're adults.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I've never watched that before, and when I watched it here, I enjoyed it. I watched it by myself again, because some people fall asleep in movies. But I liked that movie, and there was what was it? The one where they had the mask on. The Strangers, but the second one.
Friday at Night?
Yeah, that one was really good.
You like that one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Cause like, I don't know, I felt like some of them died pretty shitty, or like it wasn't really, I don't know.
That's the one
It wasn't
where
really that
we
good.
watched it and she fucking smacks the fuck out of them with that 9-iron, right? The golf club.
At the end where like
Yeah.
they were in that truck and shit like that.
No, on the pool. They're like on the pool deck.
That is that movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She like runs. You like so the way the camera's facing, it's like this. Say this is the main person and the camera's over on this side, right? Right, fucking team.
Where the camera is at right now.
Yeah, so you're seeing the person, and then somebody in the foreground or the background, sorry, is running up on them with a knife, and you're like, oh my god, no! But this person has a golf club, and as soon as they're about to get stabbed, they just turn around and fucking smack the fuck out of them with this thing, and you're like, oh shit!
It wasn't. So that movie, I don't know. There was like unexpected jumps, like when she was like hiding in the playground.
Yeah.
And then that fucking person just popped out of like that tube thing in there. I was just like, oh my, like I actually
you didn't know there was a third person. Yeah.
That shit made me fucking jump. I'm not gonna lie. So that got me with the jumps. But like all the movies that we watched, I was terrified to watch because I like scary movies. I'll watch them, but I'm like I get scared really easily.
Yeah. There was. Do you ever watch The Haunting in Connecticut?
No.
Like if you haven't seen that one, that's gonna be a good one.
Okay.
That's a little bit older, but it was still pretty good. I think it kind of deals with the same Ed and Lorraine Warren kind of before they became their own little series with like The Conjuring 1 and 2. It's like from that same set of stories.
Okay.
Kind of, sort of. But
not the same actors though.
Not the same actors. No. The two actors who play Ed and Lorraine aren't in this movie, but that's like this movie is from
their stories.
Yeah, their stories. The Conjuring 2 I watched the other day actually.
Yeah, I remember you watching
that one was really good. I enjoyed that one. I watched The Nun like a couple months back, and that one was honestly more funny than anything else.
Really?
Yeah.
I never watched The Nun.
It's kind of like how that fucking Valak, the demon in The Conjuring 2.
I only remember The Nun from that.
Yeah.
I remember The Nun coming out though.
So The Nun movie is just about how that demon was released, basically, and it was like pretty funny. Like I was very confused as to why it was like had all these funny parts in it, but they had funny parts in it, and I was like, I mean, it's not bad.
I guess it was more comedic relief, and then they just had too many of it. They got too much of it.
Yeah, I think so.
It wasn't
for sure.
like jump.
It wasn't. There was like kind of tense
creepy
parts. But I think you're right. They were trying to put some comedic relief in there, and they put too much in.
Yeah.
And like the comedic relief was too good, and there's too much of it.
And it overpowered the fucking
the scariness of the movie because you're just like, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you walk away remembering about that movie. I watched this movie the other day called. So I found this movie in my hard drive that was Return. I took that pre-workout, so now like my eyebrows twitching.
Yeah, I see it, dude.
Do you really?
Yeah, everybody sees it now. No, I don't see it, actually. I don't know.
Either way,
because you fucking just drank. You're stupid.
I found this movie called Return to the House on the Haunted Hill.
Sure. Isn't that a TV show?
That's like everybody I've told this movie about. That's what they keep saying. It's really funny. The show's called The Haunting at Hill House.
Oh, okay.
But this is Return to the House on the Haunted Hill.
Okay.
So I was like, if this is Return, then there has to be House on the Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
So I found House on the Haunted Hill in the hard drive.
Okay.
And I watched that one, and it was made in 1999, and it is not good.
Oh God.
Like, I got maybe an hour into it, and I was like, I only got 30 minutes left. I'm just gonna finish watching it, whatever. And by the end of it, it was just.
Why did I watch it?
Why did I watch it? Yeah. But the whole reason I watched it is so that I could watch Return, the sequel.
Yeah.
And so I finished that one, and I'm in the middle of watching Return to the House on the Haunted Hill right now. And it is. I thought the first one was bad, but at least the first one. So the first one kind of had like big names in it for the time, like not names that I know right now because they're like big '90s actors, but they didn't really transition into the 2000s like Angelina Jolie or Brad Pitt or Denzel Washington, actors who stayed relevant. They kind of withered off.
But they were still known back then.
Yeah, like their faces are recognizable enough that you'd be like, oh,
okay,
I know who that is. Or I've seen them before. The one name that wasn't there. I don't know her name, but I definitely know her face and what she's from. Was the girl who played, or the woman I guess, who plays Jean Grey in the X-Men movies.
Okay.
in the older ones.
Okay. I don't know.
No?
I'm not gonna. Dude, I don't know fucking actors and actresses'
dude,
names.
whatever. You don't need to know their name. I was just
Oh, okay. Yes,
you understand.
Yes, I
picture
do.
the person.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So she's in that movie, and so that's like one I automatically recognized. And then
So she was like a kid.
no, she was a woman. This was made in 1999, not too long before
Oh, okay.
the X-Men movies.
Okay, you're
Right.
right.
And so she was in it, and it was just like, I don't know if it was the movie file that I had specifically, but the editing in the movie
Was.
not good. Like, they were trying to do that thing where they show something that happens, and then they backtrack to kind of lead the audience and how they got to that point.
Okay.
But it wasn't chopped up to where like, okay, this happens, and then this is how we got there. It was kind of like, you'd be like going across a normal storyline, and then it would hop forward like 10 minutes, and then it would like backtrack to like minute 6, and you're like, wait, what?
Why did I just do that?
Yeah, like it looked like the movie messed up. So I don't know whether it's a file, like I said, or whether it was
on purpose.
yeah, on purpose or not. But it was just badly cut because there was no like transition or no like segues or anything. They just did it, which is funny, and I'll get to why it's funny right after I finish talking about the movie. Because when the movie finished, it was kind of like a cheesy ass ending where they like end up escaping because one of the guys that gets killed becomes part of like the ghost army that's occupying the house, but then they help him escape. That like one guy helps him escape the house, and the $5 million that was offered to them at the beginning of the movie kind of escapes the house with them, so they exit the house fucking rich.
With a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, with a whole bunch of money, which was like the whole point of why they went to the house in the first place. And so you're just kind of like the ending lines are literally like
they win.
That was a crazy party.
What?
And because they went there for a birthday party.
Yeah, okay.
So they're like, that was a crazy party. And then they're like on top of the insane asylum, which is what it actually was, which is also a weird thing because they kept on calling it like, it's the house is doing this, but it's not. Like you look at it, you're like, it's not a fucking house, man. Like it's a whole hospital.
Oh my god.
What? Who wrote this movie? You could have been like the insane asylum haunted, that is haunted on the hill, and it still would have been better than just being like the house, because it's not house.
Yeah, they're referencing it, and it's not even what it is.
Yeah. And so they're all like, how do we get down from here? Because they're like all the way on the top, and that's how the movie ends. And you're like, that was fucking stupid. What the fuck? So to segue real quick into why the cutting of that movie and editing of that movie was bad. Mm-hmm. I was watching this movie called Arrival with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner.
With the aliens and stuff?
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yeah. Where they have like the
heptapods?
Yeah, they have those birds that they bring with them to make sure that they don't die or something like that. And they go into like this forest thingy.
Are you talking about Bird Box?
No. They use those. They had those birds so because they were in these suits.
Yeah.
And they carried the birds just to make sure that there wasn't anything poisonous in it. Is that the wrong movie?
I guess I just didn't correlate as to why they had the birds. The birds aren't a huge part.
But
that
they did have birds.
Yeah,
okay,
so
yes,
yeah,
I remember that movie. Yeah.
So
What the fuck?
they just didn't they just had the birds there. It's not like the birds were a huge part of.
Well, I mean, that
what
was
they
the
were doing.
reason why I thought that's why they were there. Sure,
Whatever,
okay.
man.
We finally click on a movie, and now you're just questioning me remembering.
Dude, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, fuck out of here, dude.
And so they in that movie, there's like the concept of time travel. Spoiler alert. There's a concept of time travel.
I got a wedgie.
And dude, gross. Better not touch any of my stuff after picking at your balls.
Dude, get out of here.
And so
I'm like, all in
they
this
she basically, in the beginning of the movie, you don't know whether what she's seeing is the past or the present or the future. You're not too sure, but the way the movie's cut, it like shows what's happening right now, and then later in the movie you can assume that it's the future. Yeah. And then it shows what's happening in the future. But the way, see, like, I don't know how to explain it, because it shouldn't be anything different from what the last movie that we were just talking about did.
Yeah.
Because they're literally just like cutting to the other scene, and they're kind of going back and forth between the two scenes.
I get you.
But it makes sense. You're like, okay, well, she's in the future. I guess it just connects better. Like, again, they're giving credit to the audience. They're like, hey, we're gonna put this out there. You guys can put together the rest, right?
Yeah.
And the audience can, because the audience isn't stupid. Whereas in the other movie, it was kind of just like, we're gonna jump forward 10 minutes, blah. Now we're gonna jump back 6 minutes, blah. And you're like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Whereas in this one, which is honestly a lot more of a complicated movie than fucking
a hill to the haunting house.
yeah,
and the
the
returning
fucking haunted return hill house,
asylums.
house on hills. This one like makes you, it's a lot more thought provoking. So you're like watching it and you're like, oh shit, like whatever's happening for her that happens in the future, it's all happening like all at the same time for her, because time is no longer linear for her. Oh my god, fucking.
And then the other movie was just...
It's just like, I'm on crack. You want to see 10 minutes into the future? Now let me show you how we got there, kids. You want to do a bump? And you're like, oh fuck. Why is this so confusing?
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, there's also games that do that too. Like you're just like in a scene in the very beginning, but it's like already in the middle of the movie, and then it goes back to the beginning.
You said games or movies?
The games and movies. Well, I mean, they do that in games as well.
Yeah, but maybe there's some narration, or it's like, you know, it hits you with like a 3 months earlier type thing. This one's just like,
I'm not trying to defend this show. Or
no,
this movie.
so let me give you an example. They're like walking around, and basically they put this guy away in a chamber, and his wife like faked her own death and then is revived by one of the party guests there.
Okay.
As to how, because these party guests were chosen at random, but the party guest ends up being her lover somehow, some way. So she revives him, or he revives her, and then they're like, we're gonna have to kill, the guy's name is Stephen Price, we're gonna have to kill Stephen, or we're gonna have to make them think Stephen killed somebody. And the guy's like, who are we gonna make him think that they killed? And the chick stabs him with a scalpel and kills him. And then it just cuts to a scene where they're like, alright guys, we need to find a pole. And they're all like, what? And they find a pole, and then they cut back to like her opening the door with Steven, and like he gets out and she kind of sets up the murder scene, and he escapes from her and kind of walks around, and then they don't have the pole anymore, and they're just kind of walking around like, we gotta find Steven, where's Blackburn at? And you're like, what is going on? And then like after the whole thing gets unfolded, they find Steven, they finally get back to the pole, they're like, now let's go get that pole. And you're like, I thought you already had the pole. What was the point of, what the heck? It was...
That does sound confusing.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it now.
No, you shouldn't. I'm not recommending this to you guys, but if you want to watch a bad movie, watch fucking House on the Haunted Hill.
Bad movies.
Okay, I can do bad movies. Jumper. Rubber. I watched that. I was so mad after.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yes.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I never watched the whole thing.
I watched it fucking down there in the room right beneath us. Because we used to have a TV up there, and somebody ordered it, and they're like, yo, you gotta fucking watch this movie, man. Like, I was like, I heard it's pretty bad. He's like, yeah, it's so bad, it's good, though. And then we watched it, and we turned to him. It was Murator. Me and Jones.
Oh, really?
It was me, Jones, and Murator. And we watched it, and we turned to him, we're like, that wasn't so bad, it's good. That was so bad, it's fucking bad. And he's all like, fucking got you guys. And we're like, we're never gonna get that hour. Like, that was the longest hour of my life. I'm like waiting for it to kind of get good, and it just doesn't. And I'm like,
yeah,
this sucks.
I've only watched maybe 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And I've always stopped after that because I can never remember what happens after.
The concept that they had of like, I did like the concept in that movie where they had an audience like inside the movie watching the events that played out.
Yeah.
But the events that they were watching that played out were just fucking stupid.
Terrible. Yeah.
Not worth my time.
That was a good bad movie. I remember I was watching all of the Sharknado movies with my buddy back at home. He actually introduced me to the movie Rubber. Didn't finish that movie, so
yeah. No.
Yeah, Sharknado. Definitely watched that. Fucking big ass shark comes in. He has a chainsaw.
I saw that part. Yeah, right in half.
Yeah, great. Great bad movie.
Quality film. We
Oscars.
watched Swiss Army Man down there. Did you ever watch that one?
The one with Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched it.
You never watched it? It
No.
was very weird, but it was also kind of good too.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought it was... I think I might have watched it, but I lost interest in it.
It was a cool little soundtrack too, with like, because it's, for the most part, it's just him, and I forget the other guy's name, but he's a pretty popular actor also.
Yeah.
It's just him and this other actor for the most part in the movie, and it's just fucking weird because he's just like, he's a dead body basically, and he's like, "Come on, Stan, we got to get through this together." Stan? What? But the soundtrack behind it is like very elating. It's like kind of makes you happy.
What does elating mean?
Elation?
No,
It's-
elating, not elation.
Well, elation is a form
What does
of
elating mean?
It's just, it's uplifting.
Uplifting?
Lot of words with Lata.
You already said the definition. Okay, it's uplifting.
It's uplifting.
Elating.
Elation.
That's dead.
Well, there we go. We tried, folks.
Ooh, it's hot. Alright.
Another bad movie. I'm trying to steer clear. The one movie that I watched that I'll probably never watch again is Requiem for a Dream.
I've never heard of that
And that was
movie.
with Jared Leto and Marlon Wayans, I believe.
Marlon Wayans?
Yeah.
The fucking...
The Wayans brother? Is this-
It's
It's about this dude who is like hooked on drugs. He's hooked on heroin. Him and his girlfriend and their friend. They all like do fucking heroin. And it's very like practical effects. It's heavy. So like all the stuff that you see, this fucking, his mom is trying to win this show. And she wants to lose weight because she's gonna go on the show, she thinks. But it's kind of just like one of those TV scams.
Okay.
And so she starts taking these pills to help her lose weight, but they're fucking speed pills.
Ah.
And so she loses weight because it gets rid of her hunger, sure.
But she's doing drugs.
Like, yeah, she gets addicted to these drugs that there's some like phony baloney doctor subscribed to her,
Subscribe to her?
or prescribed to her. Shut up.
You're stupid.
And the dude Jared Leto who does heroin, Jared Leto plays the part, is like, "Mom, are you on uppers? Are these uppers, Ma?" And she's like, "I'm just trying to lose weight." And she ends up like dying from an overdose. It's a very sad movie.
Oh, wow.
And they try and like make this big heroin score with these drug dealers and ended up getting arrested. And they get sent to jail and are like totally fucking cracked out of their mind. And they're like, "Can you work?" And the guy's like, and like throws up, and they like punch him in the stomach and they're like, "Can you work?" And he's like, and it just like has him working in the fucking prison kitchen, like making food, like throwing up into the food.
Ugh.
And like Jennifer Connelly, she's the girlfriend who like is looking for ways to make her own score now because her not her husband, but her boyfriend and the fucking other guy
He's in prison now.
are in prison. So she starts like doing sexual entertainment for this like big time drug dealer at this hotel, and it's like all these fucking rich guys like throwing money at them to do whatever sexual deviant acts to each other, her and this other girl. And they're like, ass to ass, ass to ass. So they get this like double-sided dildo and fucking fuck each other in the butt with it. But it's like super dehumanizing for her. And obviously you're watching it, and you're just kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a very...
It's a movie, like I said, I'll probably never watch again. But it was, it's a one-time watcher. Like, you watched it, you went through the experience, don't do drugs. Got it. Like,
Don't do drugs.
That's the moral of the story there.
Dare.
Don't do drugs. And so that was on Last Planet though. That was like one of those movies I watched with Gonzo. He's like, "You haven't seen this? Alright, I gotta check this out." You haven't seen this? You ever seen Blood Diamond? I only say that because that also has Jennifer Connelly in it. She's kind of the female lead in that movie.
A while ago though.
Brad Pitt.
I'm not gonna be able to picture the cast in my head.
I'm not Brad Pitt. Leonardo DiCaprio, my bad.
It's about like money from like, is it not Africa or something like that?
Yeah, the Congo.
Yeah. And then like, yeah, it's like dirty money, I guess. Not dirty money, but
Not so much about the dirty money part.
it's like they're getting resources or something like that over there.
So basically, Leonardo DiCaprio is like a fucking smuggler. He smuggles diamonds out of the country.
Oh, okay.
And Jennifer Connelly is a reporter. and they meet this one guy in a refugee camp who's like looking for his son, who was kidnapped when he was a kid and became like a child soldier for this warlord. And you kind of see from the son's point of view everything that's happening to him, where he's like kind of meek and mild, and they're having him like kill people and get him hooked on drugs. They basically like indoctrinate him into this gang, and the kid becomes like a fucking cold-blooded killer within weeks of like being kidnapped.
Is it the one where? Oh fuck! I'm like picturing this movie in my head, but I'm thinking it's a different movie.
And so basically, the dad of the little kid tells Leonardo DiCaprio's character, like, I can get you the biggest diamond you've ever fucking seen. You just have to get me close enough so I can go get my son back. And they're like, all right, fucking deal. And so they all, like, the three of them go together to get the diamond, but then they get stopped by the warlord guy and his little, like, army of children / teenagers / adults. And he's just trying to get his son back, and he ends up fighting the warlord at the end, and they find the diamond and shit. It's a good movie.
So, why are you saying this movie again?
It's just a good movie.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were talking about movies on this.
Fuck out of here. We were just talking about bad movies, that's why.
Oh.
And then you said that you were literally just talking about a one-time watch for this other movie, and now you're talking about...
Well, because I said Jennifer Connelly's in
Oh,
both
yeah. That's why you brought it up.
Yeah. Jennifer Connelly is in Requiem for a Dream. Just
Smart ass.
Is in fucking...
Oh, yeah, I thought we were talking about movies. Dude, stop it. Ping. Friends.
How many of us have them? Let's be friends.
Best friends forever. Best friends forever. Ring. What?
Either way.
What? SpongeBob. You never seen that?
No. That's a... Itchy now.
I'm hot, dude. It's hot in here.
That's a good movie.
Blood Diamond?
Blood Diamond, yeah. It talks about... It's kind of almost like an expose on how dumb diamonds are, too. If you didn't know, there was one family / company that owns all the diamonds in the world.
I didn't know
De Beers Diamond Company.
The Beers?
De Beers.
Oh,
De Beers. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they like... The reason it's called a blood diamond is because the way this diamond was like snatched from the ground is through like kind of like slave labor or like workers that aren't paid a lot.
Yeah.
And the only diamonds themselves aren't actually rare or valuable in any capacity because there's scarcity. There's no actually scarcity of them, but there's only one company that owns the diamonds in the world. And so what they'll do is they'll mine all these diamonds, take them from the earth, and then they'll keep them all at their like storage facility, and they'll only release a couple every year, like giving the perception of like rarity and value to them.
Did you learn this in the movie?
I've like done my own research on it too, before the movie and then like during the movie and stuff like that, or after I watched it too. So like in the end of the movie, they like take this big ass diamond that's like fucking this big and like this thick, and they just like put it in a drawer. He's like, all right, well that's taken care of. They, like put it away.
That's it.
Yeah, like with all these other drawers of diamonds that they have, they just like seal it away.
But what was I gonna say? How is it possible that this one company owns all these diamonds?
Because they own all the land that the diamonds come from.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you have to think like this is a company that's been around for at this point like hundreds of years. You know, just like Rockefeller owned all the oil at one point in America. You know.
Okay. Sure.
You
I knew that too. I mean, why? I'm just ready to play Apex Legends.
Also true. We were on watch today, and they're like, how many feet? We were trying to figure out how many feet were in a mile, and I was like 5,286, which I think is like around the right number. But I answered.
Alexa.
Yes. You should have a calculator on your phone.
How would I do that?
I don't know. There should be a converter.
What?
Let me see. Either way,
you said 5,000 what?
286.
Okay.
They're like, how do you just know that?
Sorry, you want a calculator?
Yeah, there should be a converter somewhere. Oh, what's scientific calculator? Oh yeah, here we go. Length. Miles. To feet. 5,280.
You're wrong.
I was close.
You're fucking wrong.
I said 86.
That's not right. Did you see that? That's wrong. That's dead too. Now we're just using that.
They're
Holy
like,
shit.
how did you know that so fast? And I was like,
I just know it.
it was in Remember the Titans. And they're like, so if there's just facts in a movie, you just know them? Like,
Yeah.
off the top of your head? And I'm like, kinda, I guess. I know, I've seen that movie a lot of times, so...
Why is that a bad thing?
They're
to
just
know that?
surprised
Oh,
that
okay.
that's how I correlated the facts that I knew it was from a movie.
That's funny. But that's like correlating facts from a fucking video game.
Or from a book.
Yeah.
Same
Which
thing.
is the same exact thing.
Yeah.
You get your facts from somewhere.
But that kind of just plays into the fact, like, or the idea that I just watch a lot of movies and, like, retain
Yeah.
the information from them.
So you are a movie person.
Yeah.
A moviegoer.
Espria was saying the other day, he was like, you know, there's something I admire about you, and it's you just have this innate ability. He didn't say innate. You just have this ability to remember, like, all these movies' names and, like, what happens in every
Yeah.
single movie. And I was like,
I'm telling you, you were like the fucking IMDb of fucking just all the movies. You just done your research on them. Or you just remember them.
I like movies. I watch them. Again, if I like a movie, I'll rewatch it. Too.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably end up rewatching fucking 1917 again
Really?
at some point. Yeah.
You liked it that much?
Yeah. And I felt bad. I pretend like these movies have feelings almost sometimes. So
You felt
like,
bad that you fell asleep.
Yeah,
on
I
it.
felt bad that I fell asleep because there's, you know,
That's how I felt about the Avengers.
building up
Endgame.
to it. There's a lot of times where if I like a movie, I'll like see how much their budget was, and then I'll see how much they grossed in the box office.
And
if
you're just
they,
like really proud of them. If
yeah,
they made
exactly.
money.
If they made over their budget, I'm like, oh, good for them. Like, they deserve it. And if they didn't, I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Like, that was a really good movie. That should have earned more money than it did. Like The Big Short. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
But I feel like you're lying.
I'm trying to remember now.
I think their budget
I
was
kinda
like
just said
200
yeah.
million, and they made like 500,000 in the box office.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they won
Okay,
like
I don't think I know what
best supporting act. They like won a couple awards too, and I was like, oh, good for them. Like, they deserve those awards because that was a good movie. That was a fun movie to watch.
It was 500,000,
500 million.
and they pulled in how much?
No, their budget was like 2 million.
Oh, okay.
200 million or something like that. Because they had like Steve Carell, fucking Ryan Gosling. They had like pretty big.
Names.
Margaret Robbie, Selena Gomez was in it. It's like Fourth Wall Breakers, if you know what that is.
No.
A lot of theater concepts with a lot of fourth wall breaking is just like within a movie if they start talking to the audience. So like Deadpool when he's like,
Oh,
this is
okay.
gonna hurt him a lot. Like,
Oh, okay.
That's a fourth wall break.
Okay. I didn't know there's a name for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, no, that's a good movie. It's about the housing crash in 2008 and how like this also had Christian Bale in it.
Okay.
He's really skinny. It was like weird to see him so skinny, honestly.
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
That Batman guy?
Yeah.
I think he was in Ford versus Ferrari as well.
Is he?
Yeah, as a mechanic.
I haven't seen
Very
that one.
skinny.
I gotta see that one.
He has like an
actually.
English accent.
Yeah. He does an English accent pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie was good. I want to finish watching this movie with Shia LaBeouf. It's about he plays Tommy McEnroe, the tennis player, who, if you didn't know, is like,
I don't know.
you ever seen Big Daddy?
Yeah.
You know the like dude at the end who like freaks out and like fucking beats this dude up, the old guy, and they're like, McEnroe, is that you?
What?
No? Alright. Either way, it's this real life tennis player who was like known because fucking tennis is like a gentleman's sport.
Yeah.
And so, but he was a tennis bad boy because whenever something wouldn't go his way, he'd like freak out and like break rackets and like yell at the referee or the official and like yell at the other guy, calling him names and shit.
Okay, so it's like.
And so everybody's like, oh my god, like what's wrong with this fucking guy?
Yeah.
And so he's like, you know, the outburster, the angry guy. And he plays this one dude who's like known for just being like cool, calm, and collective like at all times, no matter what happens, like loses a point, does an error, gets fucking blasted on, doesn't matter, he's always cool.
That's Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf
Shia LaBeouf is the other guy.
Yeah, Tommy McEnroe. I forget who plays the other guy and what's the other guy's name. He's some foreign tennis player. Tom McEnroe is American. And
That
like,
makes sense.
as the movie continues, what I'm trying to say about this movie is I have to finish it because I was kind of watching it and then I went to bed and I never picked it back up.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to finish it. But what the other dude who's like cool, calm, and collective realizes is that Tommy McEnroe, played by Shia LaBeouf, isn't actually a loose cannon who's out of control. Like everything he does is calculated in order to mess with his opponent. He's like there to make his opponent uneasy about his actions.
Okay.
Like that's kind of his.
He's like mentally fucking them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that was a pretty good movie.
That's actually.
I actually really like Shia LaBeouf as an actor too. I think not only has he come far from being an Even Stevens, but he can. Not only can he be a serious actor, like he can still be like a goofy actor. Yeah, too.
I remember watching this movie where he was in the movie, but they were like basically. They're like going around these towns and shit, like selling stuff. Like, but they were like basically just. I don't really know what they were doing. They weren't really selling anything. They were just taking money from people.
Oh, I don't know.
I'd have to.
You know who else is in it?
No. Fuck no.
I'd have to look that up.
I'll look it up.
That sounds pretty good though.
I feel like
I really like in Fury. So he's in Fury, Disturbia.
I've seen. Fury,
Transformers was like his big role after Even Stevens.
Yeah.
After like he was kind of done doing Disney stuff with like Holes and all that stuff.
That was a good movie.
Transformers was like his first big one, followed on by Disturbia and stuff like that, where it kind of showed his chops as like a comedy action guy in Transformers, and then he was kind of like a silly suspense guy in Disturbia, and then he went on to movies like Fury and fucking this Tommy McEnroe, or this fucking McEnroe versus whatever the guy.
I'm trying to remember. Fuck.
I
can't. I'd have to.
I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for.
I mean, he's very. What was that fucking meme that he did or Vine?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. I feel like that, and I think he like copped a DUI a couple years ago. That kind of not really set him back, but kind of put him in a bad image. But you know, there's fucking celebrities who've done way worse to get a DUI. Don't get me wrong, drinking and driving is bad, but these people like straight up murdered people, and they're like, well, gotta say I love his movie though. So.
Yeah. I mean, people like fucking Justin Bieber would drive drunk all the time, or at least fucking speed race and shit.
Or fucking like fuck up their neighbor's car and shit.
Yeah. Pee in buckets.
Yeah, pee in buckets and stuff. Michael Pena's in that movie too. He makes. He was in The Martian.
Dude. Curbside
game!
Park!
Parkside! I was gonna say Parkside. Curbside.
Okay, end the watch. Remember that.
It's funny because you say like. I remember you guys saying like, how do you like know that all these people are from all these different movies?
Yeah.
But like, that's how I do it. Is I'm like, I think of Fury, and then I think of Michael Pena, and then I think of how Michael Pena.
So you just what they were in before and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think of how Michael Pena was in The Martian, and how Michael Pena was in End of Watch, and then I think of End of Watch, and I think of Jake Gyllenhaal, then I think of Nightcrawler, and then I think of Southpaw, then I think of fucking
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
No, I think of fucking
Jake Gyllenhaal. You said
Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler, and the guy who plays Dopender in Deadpool is in Nightcrawler.
Oh, okay.
And since he's in Deadpool, I think of Ryan Gosling, and when I think of Ryan Gosling, I think of fucking Just Friends, and then.
Okay, we get it. You're like a movie genius then. Whatever.
What? No. What? That's how it happens, though. That's like how my brain
works when you relate movies and people and all this shit. Okay. Yeah, I don't do that.
It's a web. It's a web.
I'm not a movie person, I guess.
You're a movie person. You just don't know it. That's something like. I don't know if I've said this before on here, but that's like something my family does.
Watch a lot of movies?
They watch a lot of movies and they quote movies, and it's kind of like a game for us to
That
be
is
like,
true, yeah.
Like, who am I thinking of? This fucking one person from this movie and this movie and this movie, and somebody's like, Steve Buscemi! And you're like, yeah!
You were saying that when you said that you and your sister used to quote that scene in The Lion King.
Yeah, let me in.
Yeah.
She does that a lot too. I do that to Theo, where I'll say movie quotes, and then he'll watch.
I feel like you and sorry, go ahead.
He'll watch a movie, and I'll like come in, and he's like, I finally figured out like what you said, what you keep saying, like where's it from? And I'm like, what's it from? And he like says it. I'm like, yep, that's it. And he's like,
it's like a homework for him.
Yeah.
But I feel like you and Mr. Seagraves are, you guys would like to talk to each other a lot because of movies.
We mesh pretty well when it comes to movies. This is weird to say, but I feel like because we talked about, he was saying how he really liked the show You, which is the Netflix show.
Yeah.
And I was saying I didn't really like that show. I don't like shows that like give me unnecessary anxiety. Okay. Like that I just don't like that feeling for myself, and I'm not gonna subject myself to it if I don't have to. Okay. There is shows where I do like it like that, but for that instance, like the way that was set up, have you seen it?
I've seen like the first season.
Yeah, basically this guy is like obsessed with this girl, so he stalks her.
Yeah,
But she doesn't know she's
basically
stalking him.
traps her.
Yeah,
Stuff like
but
that.
lets her, like, while he's stalking her, like, ends up getting with her,
Yeah.
but she still doesn't know that he's stalking him. And it's just, like, it's weird to make him the main character for me, and that's why I think I didn't like the show. Because, like, I feel like that's a weird person to focus around. And I was telling Mr. Seagraves the other day, like, I just don't like shows where they make the villain like that the main focus.
So like Dexter.
Yeah, kinda, I guess. But, like, everybody sees what Dexter's doing, and everybody knows, like, that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I feel like, and I was telling them, like, as kids watch this show, and, like, teenagers watch this show,
They're gonna make it seem like that's okay.
yeah, like, man, I sure wish somebody tried as hard as fucking Joe Goldberg tried for whatever her face is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the same time that show came out, 13 Reasons Why I think came out.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of Twitter posts that was saying, and I didn't know how to explain this to him because I feel like in some ways he's disconnected to the social media world.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really don't try. But what I wanted to tell him was like people, like kids, right? Teenagers who are impressionable and who might be having those hard, dark thoughts because they're young and because they are growing up. They watch a show like 13 Reasons Why that kind of bring up the subject of suicide, but don't really address it as like a bad thing. It's a depressing show, and people have said that, like, I watched this show and then I didn't feel good about myself after, basically. And I just don't like shows that, like, that's put out, like, that's what the masses consume, and that's what everybody's kind of, you gotta watch this show because it's so good. Like, the show could be good, but if it makes me feel like shit or weird after, like, I don't really want to watch it. Yeah.
And that's just one of those shows.
That was just one of those shows for me. And he didn't really get the concept. And he's like, I don't think a show can change a person's mind about how they feel. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, if you're young enough, yeah.
If you're impressionable at that time. I'm not saying it's taking 24-year-old women and making them feel different about themselves. But in the same way, I was trying to use the Joker Harley Quinn relationship as an example. Like, there's been people who don't know about the comic who've been like, man, I sure wish I had a relationship like these two, and it had a picture of Joker and the Harley Quinn, and like, people are like, you know, like, he beats her and stuff. Like, they don't have a good loving relationship. He's like very abusive. That's like the whole point of the relationship. It's fucked up just like they are. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, but like, people don't take that seriously. And I'm like,
what?
All right, whatever. You know, so I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm done trying to drive this point home.
Yeah.
You know, it's whatever. And he's definitely not like that with his wife. So he can't, I don't think he, and sorry for putting you like on blast like this, but talking to Mr. Seagraves right there. But, you know, he loves his wife very much, and he would never do anything to harm her or hurt her or make her feel any type of way that is adverse to herself. And so I don't think he really understands like how people could do that, or even how people could like change their mind to be like that.
Just from watching this, like a show or a movie or something.
Or
like
how
that.
even people who like guys who can be like that to women, you know. And he was like arguing like, well, you know, Joe was trying to be the good guy because he was saying like all these people that she was dating, that Beck was dating,
are
that's
all
her
bad
name,
for him.
are all bad for her.
Bad for her, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, he can treat her so much better. And I'm like, yeah, and then he kills her at the end.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, besides that, you know. And I'm
like,
no,
that's that's
everything,
a big thing.
Everything he did leading up to getting her was not a good thing for her. Like, no matter how good he was when he was
playing
finally with
the whole time. Yeah.
And so that's why I don't like. That's why for the longest time I didn't like drama / sad movies. But
because it made you uncomfortable like that. It was like unsettling to watch.
And that's why I liked watching like happy, fun stuff. But I think I've kind of grown in a way where, you know, you have to start understanding that there is like sadness and disparity that happens in the world.
Yeah.
So in a movie, just like any other art form, is a way to express that outwardly to other people and kind of put a message out there of sorts.
Wow.
Whoa.
That was deep, man. Holy shit.
And I think that's why I'm more comfortable with watching those type of movies now, because I think it's about apathy more than anything else, like understanding where other people are coming from. I still love funny movies. Like, man, I'm super itchy right now.
Oh yeah, you took your pre-workout.
Woo!
God.
Like, I Love You, Man.
Yeah.
I would, if you've never seen that movie, it's very funny, but it's only funny because Paul Rudd is like so awkward in that movie.
I feel like that he plays that role very well.
Yeah, and
I feel like that's how his character usually is.
The
too.
fact of him being awkward is what makes that movie so good. And you're all like, see, I just did it right now. I was like, Paul Rudd. Oh, Paul Rudd's in Ant-Man. Fucking Michael Pena's in Ant-Man. Michael Pena's also in...
Yeah, well, yeah, Michael Pena is in Ant-Man.
Oh, T.I.'s in Ant-Man too.
That is true, yeah, wow.
And so, but that movie's so funny because he, like, everything he does is like, you know, it's that dude who's trying to fit in, and so he's trying to be cool. And if he were just to act like himself, he would be cool. But he doesn't act like himself.
Yeah.
He tries to, like, mold himself to what he thinks other people want. So he's like, see you later, city slicker. What? All right, well, I'll see you there, or I'll see you at another time. And he's like, no, I have to know if you're actually going to be there. Like, I'm not going to drive there and just meet nobody. And he's like, no, I'm gonna be there for sure. It's so funny. Every time I watch that movie, I laugh a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I'm probably due to watch it again soon. Oh, so good. That was a fresh time period when Jason Segel was coming out with a lot of different stuff.
Jason Segel.
Yeah, he made like 3 different movies within 5 years.
Cameron Diaz, the one with Cameron Diaz.
Sex Tape?
Sex Tape?
Yeah.
That was funny.
So he made that one, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and he made like one more.
Are you testing me right now? Or?
No, I don't remember what it is, but...
He made a serious movie I remember watching. I think it was on Netflix, actually. Probably.
I like Vince Vaughn. Because he can be funny, like in fucking Old School and Dodgeball and all those movies.
Like in Wedding Crashers?
Yeah, Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
But then, like, he is in serious stuff too.
Yeah.
And, like, he plays, because I think the fact that he's so tall helps him out. Because he plays fucking Norman Bates in a Psycho rendition.
I don't know.
It's the movie Psycho.
I've never seen Psycho. I feel like that's one of the classic movies.
It's an Alfred Hitchcock classic, but they've remade it like dozens of times. They have a TV show.
Okay.
Basically, it's this guy who lives with his mom in this house, and they run a motel together. And whenever like women come to stay at the house, they end up murdered somehow, or they disappear. And they like are kind of blaming the son, but everybody thinks that the son is so controlled by his mom that he's the one who's killing all these girls to like as an outlet.
Okay.
Because the mom was so controlling. But it turns out that the mom has been dead for like years, and he keeps her like body just up in the room, just like decaying in a chair. And every time you see the mom in the movie, it's actually the character playing Norman Bates, or Vince Vaughn in this instance, dressed up as his mom, like with the wig on and shit. But you never see her face. He's just making a voice. So that's like sorry everybody, but that's the big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Thanks for ruining that for me. Yeah, I didn't want to watch it.
It's alright.
What? What do you mean it's alright?
Dude, it's still a good movie. But that's kind of like...
still gonna watch it anyways.
That's like one of those movies that you're like, whoa, what the fuck? When did you get so fucking good at serious movies?
He's actually... Well, I guess this is a comedy, but he's in Fighting With My Family.
Yeah, he is. And he plays a good, like, hard, domineering fucking coach.
Serious kind of guy.
And he's in Hacksaw Ridge. He's like the fucking platoon leader.
Yeah.
And he does a good job in that, too.
That was a good movie.
I want to say surprisingly so, but at that point I really wasn't surprised at all. I was like, oh yeah, Vince Vaughn's a fucking straight-laced fucking dude.
I can't remember. There was another movie. It wasn't Hacksaw Ridge, but there was this guy. It was a war movie. He gets imprisoned in the Japanese cabin. Unbroken. Yeah, that one. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie. I saw that in theaters with my girlfriend at the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When he's holding like the fucking like train fucking wooden piece that goes underneath the train. They like have him hold it up above his head.
Oh yeah.
For like hours.
And he's like they starts like whipping him and shit like that too.
If you drop it, we're gonna like fucking kill your friends over here. And so he holds it for hours, and they start like hitting him and shit.
Yeah.
And
you just stand back up.
Yeah. He just fucking keeps holding it the whole time. I thought at the end of that movie they express how like people who were the prisoners and people who kept them in prison kind of met back up like years later.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you know, fucking war, crazy.
Yeah. But that other guy, I thought he never...
Yeah, that's the thing I'm getting at.
Oh.
Way to ruin the storyline.
Dude, thanks for ruining Psycho for me. Fuck you.
Alright, you got me.
Fuck you,
but yeah, they all meet back up together, and then the one guy who was like really hard on the main character of the story, I don't remember his name right now, like never came back. I'm guessing because he was either too ashamed or too fucking guilt-ridden to really face anybody after the things he had put people through.
Yeah, it was crazy though, like seeing them. They were both in the Olympics together, and how like it was a. They were showing how it was a norm to see like the swastika at the Olympics and stuff like that.
because that's when
That was when,
fucking Nazi Germany was reigning,
and it was
they're
still
all
like it was in a bad. They weren't at that bad point yet.
yeah, Hitler was like, Germany's gonna come in and kick everybody's butts because the Aryans are the best race ever. And then fucking Jesse Owens showed him what's what. I don't know if you know that story or not. No? Jesse Owens was a black sprinter from America. And basically Hitler was like, we're gonna go to the Olympics and we're gonna win everything. And the Aryans who are racing are gonna beat everybody, no matter what. And then Jesse Owens, this like fucking small town runner who's just fast as fuck, comes in and whips their asses in the sprints. And then basically everybody's like, what's up? Call me J.O., Jesse Owens.
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
Go back to Germany. And like Hitler was like super embarrassed, like, fuck.
No, I didn't know that.
I tried doing a book report on him actually at one point.
Jesse Owens?
Yeah, Jesse Owens. But there's no like literature written on him, or like I'm sure
really?
I'm sure I could look it up online right now. But the point of the book report was I was supposed to find a book in our library to do on somebody, and there was no book about him, so I had to choose somebody else, which I was pretty actually kind of sad about. But whatever, you know, time goes on.
Yeah, movies and stuff.
The first. So you know who Mel Brooks is? What time is it? I gotta
Gibson?
be
The
past
Patriot?
this,
15:31.
no way, really?
Oh shit! I got watch in like 15
Oh
minutes.
shit.
Anyways.
Wait. So Mel Brooks
Oh God.
is a parody writer.
What the fuck? How'd that happen?
That went by fast as fuck.
Holy shit! No wonder our shit died. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Is a parody writer, and so he makes movies like Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles.
Those are old movies.
Yeah, he's old now, so. But the first time I ever heard of Jesse Owens, and I mean, you can imagine my dad's the same type of storyteller that I am.
Yeah.
I would say that's where I kind of learned how to do it, from hearing him like tell bedtime stories and stuff. But there's a joke in Blazing Saddles where he's like all the white people catch him, and he goes, and for my next impression, it's this black guy, the black sheriff, he's like, for my next impression, Jesse Owens, and like starts running away really fast. And I like didn't get why that was funny. And I was like, who's Jesse Owens, Dad? And he's like, oh, and he told me the story, like
how you just told me.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, that's cool as fuck. And he's like, yeah, that's why it's funny. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. But Mel Brooks was a pretty big influence. I watched Spaceballs a lot as a kid too, and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I've seen Robin Hood Men in Tights recently. Like, I missed Deployment.
I watched Blazing Saddles, and it's funny how that movie aged. And it's a satire / parody, so it's very openly racist for comedic effect.
Yeah.
And like everybody's kind of okay with it because it's a classic. That's like definitely one. I guess the kids haven't found that one yet because nobody's been like
Tropical Thunder.
Yeah.
Or Tropic Thunder.
And so nobody's really been like out to get it, but that one kind of. I was watching the other day, and I was watching Up in Fort IC, and everybody was like, "What the fuck are you watching? Like this is so racist." And I was like, "Yeah, but that's the point. Like they know they're not being it because that's how they think. Like."
They're just doing it because it's funny.
Yeah, it's everybody's cool with it. Everybody's cool with the racism in this one, and they're like, "That's not how racism works." I'm like, "You guys don't get that. I don't know what you're talking about." But hey guys, that was episode 12, and that was us on movies. This has been Two
Brown
and Down. What?
I don't know what you want from me.
It's Two Brown and Down.
Oh, see now it is, huh?
Damn it.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought, motherfucker.
And so, either way,
got his ass.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time in Brown Boys Go to Goa.
Where's Goa?
Gulf of Aden. What? Gotcha.